changes.
Life. Life.
Savoring this moment, is this our last goodbye? Haven't we learned each other? I guess one of us lied. So please just pull away. I can't look you in the face. I don't wanna have to lie. I wanted this love to survive. Now when I look in your I feel paralyzed. Now I know it's over. I see you passing by, hand in hand, with your perfect light. My body, a ghost town, feels like someone cut my tongue. I didn't know my heart could die this young. Oh, now when I look in your eyes, I feel paralyzed.
Hi everyone, two really weird things have happened this week. First, I signed this legally binding contract and got paid a load of money to advertise games deals. And then, literally, a couple of days after that, I managed to get NBA 2K17 for the low price of $34.99 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One at Game, saving £15. Crazy days.
It's just such a difficult angle, but they walk dead set into him, drops them all dead with a quick spray. Actually throw anything down, the smoke over towards MBK will actually pretty much deny any sort of Molotov, and picks on both sides of the board. But Lazar, the bomb is going to go down. It is a 2v2, but the quick aggression is coming in from the CT side. They're going to try and deny this one off of the aggression, but Lazar, with a perfect shot, brings it to a 1 versus 1. There was Rezu more than happy to respond, but he's still got to swing out with this M4. He's talking to the Fuse. He's going to be sticking to him. The peak is going to be coming in. Lazar, he's swapped to an M4. The spray to come in. They make things work. The answer is going to be no, because the elevated angle is going to shut things down. Smoothie, he catches off the jumping shot.
Especially because Aaron's just netting that frag. It's good, the 1 versus 1. He will get the kill, but the Molotov will mean the round win for Endpoint. Actually, will it? 5 HP!
He gets away with it just by calculating the amount of damage he's going to take. Almost a bit of luck, or perhaps even knowledge. This is going to be difficult, but Hype and Adam, they will combine 2 frags to be collected. Robin will at least pick up 1 in return, shutting down the AWP. But even with that said, it's a 2v3. They still have themselves in such a tough predicament. Still workable, especially if the solar peak comes in.
Oh, you need to be winning that. You need to be winning that trade if you're Cryan. Now Dom, 19 HP, has the flash, but will get sprayed down by
hugely unpredictable, so 16-5, 16-6 is kind of where I'm leaning towards right now. But they are straight into this one. It's already going to be some very quick aggression, and Robin, he is just going to be dropping them dead. Back-to-back headshots, ladies and gentlemen, is what we will see. 4 quick frags for him. He is playing for his 5th. Jenko going to steal it out of his hands.
They don't care. This is the thing. They have no respect for you. The A site will be FM's, but instead he finds the first, sprays down another one, sprays down 3. Can they get any more?
You could almost say sitting ducks.
They're playing very passive. This is the problem when they play passive. The flash comes down from Ozzy, gets 1, gets 3.
Sheer Mamhouse trying to do the damage. We talked about that pistol. It finds the first crackling headshot, but Aaron's up. 20 seconds, that is going to be the time to really keep an eye on this point. And Aaron, he's doing so much work with this rifle, single-handedly annihilating the side of Cavs. Some damage, pretty big game. And we talked about whether he'd save it. Looks like he's just going for the damage more. Oh yeah, the more damage makes room. We'll find some of these 1 frag, but he's actually giving them a really good run for their running. But if he finds himself that early shot on towards the cranium of Ezo, this could actually happen right now. They will be peeking ever so comfortably around, but Jacob, he makes it work. He thought it was impossible.
As well. And now the pistol run coming out, 5 players outrun.
They're going to be tapping away, trying to go back to the old faithful side. Even then, is it going to lead to anything? The answer is going to be a bit very surgical in the way he's approaching this. He's going to find himself a very nice 1 tap a second on towards Imi.
They're underpassing now, they're going to have to run into
stairs, but the concern is going to be them losing the AWP, but Dreamer too quick on the trick.
Park, sorry. Anyway, Zero the shotgun, he's so known for his Mag 7. He's just like
trying to achieve. Really, that free gift is just totaling up so much now. Theo just going to be doing a lot of work through mid doors, making it nice and easy, just slicing through.
He does love the easy ones.
Yeah, right now he's just feet up, love and life, making it happen. Interest now is the GTM. They got themselves an opportunity and a motivating factor much quicker.
This is smart as well. Early pick and clap there as well.
Now looking to come out towards platform, and albeit Snaky will fall Isaac next to follow, but Trouble, he's now going to be live with the save.
The 1 versus 2, the flashes fail, just quite get there. Because doesn't let the front, not the mid cross there, takes down 1. Gets traded.
The trades, they are still yet again the crucial factor of Tickles. He's just going to be given so many angles, so many facets to swivel on around, go for these repeats.
Hello, 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 gentlemen. We are back with week 4 of UK Masters. It's me, Snod CSGO, and obviously Flakes here with me. Casting this game tonight, we're going to have UFrag versus Endpoint as our first best of 2, and then following that, we're going to be having FM versus generic team name.
Well, you certainly have set the scene for the night, but of course, this one, again, no surprise, UK Masters, it never is. It's not quite as clear-cut as we originally expect. We've got teams looking to play things out, though. I can already see you with some sort of level of hesitation, and this is, I have a feeling something draws me to this first series, because admittedly, we were pretty damn blunt last week. We were pretty damn up in UFrag's faces. We were punishing. Everybody knows we were punishing. How is that going to change in retrospective to this week?
Well, punishing towards UFrag?
Yeah.
Well, if they come with a better game plan, more focused, obviously they have been playing with Dom now for a week. He's no longer, not really a stand-in, more so just, they've played a week, they've had practice, they're deciding to play Cobblestone. That's their map pick this week, and then Endpoint, they've opted to go for Mirage. But UFrag choosing Cobblestone. Obviously they've practiced it. Why do you reckon they're picking this map tonight?
I look at it and go, it's going to come down to Adam trying to be a little bit more controlling on this T side, right? He's
With the AWP, yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty good with the AWP. No, my one concern was, is this AWP head-to-head battle, right? Because Adam, he's fairly slow. Look at who he's up against, Lazar. It's a pretty similar affair, right? These guys are
I wouldn't say
passive
slow.
AWPers.
Laz is definitely a fast AWPer, fast like flicking style, fast shooter, very
it's
fast
the way
firing
he
rates.
holds the
It's
angles
just
and goes about it.
more passive. It's not the more aggressive AWPer that we've seen. Not one of the most aggressive AWPers we've seen so far in UK Masters, but definitely a very, very skilled one. Going up against Adam, I feel like it will come down to the riflers in this. I mean, I don't think the AWP will play too much of a role. I know that Laz is, trying to play a bit more aggressive this week. People have been speaking to him about that. Hopefully we can see some strong and, effective aggression.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to see if that kind of change of pace. But of course, as you mentioned, rifles. Now, for me, something that really does draw me to is Endpoint, Jesp.
Yes.
It's a new face on the block.
Yeah, we are no longer... Well, not
on the
that
block,
we are
but
no
for
longer seeing
Endpoint,
Aaron. Yeah.
yeah.
Aaron obviously standing in for Endpoint in the previous week. Actually, on Cobblestone, he had a great performance, and it's actually be interesting to see how Endpoint play without Aaron on their side. I mean, dropping, 27 frags, 28 frags, and still losing versus Kaz. Important to mention, actually, UFrag picking Cobblestone. Last week, Endpoint did lose Cobblestone to Kaz. So.
Yeah, that kind of loss was certainly something to be discussing. But for now, we have ourselves a knife round. We know Endpoint get that decision.
Yep.
Cobblestone, knife round, to be honest, we all know it's fairly clear cut, right?
No, what, T-side or CT?
I think that T-side is usually the kind of the go-to.
Depends on confidence. Endpoint here, they are opting, I think, to go for that T-side, feeling, I wouldn't say aggressive, but more so confident. You want to have confidence on your T-side, aiming for 9 rounds, win the pistol, start rolling it from there, control the CT economy. Once you have control of that CT economy, it allows you to go for this fast rushes towards B. Yeah,
those fast rushes now, in terms of actually holding down that aggression, that's pretty tough to do on a CT side of things. That B site is something that a lot of the times now it is just...
counter flashes, the nades and whatnot, yeah.
Well, the nades and the counter flashes really sum up in a nutshell, but there is a lot of pressure. But either way, we are going straight into this one. It is, of course, going to be the pistol round. And in terms of strategical element, Endpoint, they're pretty bunched up towards B.
Yeah, fairly standard pistol coming out here. Actually, 3 players towards B for the frag side. Actually, expecting an A rush coming from Endpoint as there are 2 players there, but here comes the B attack.
B attack is going to allow him to try and open things up. Jess will find the first one. Tommy is going to respond. A quick 2 frags to be connected on towards Max, trying to make the best of things, but things are beginning to get a little bit rough as Lazar over towards the site, just going to be pincing around that fountain, and one by one new frags numbers, they seem to be dwindling, but Tommy again still in position, still alive most importantly, and that frag on towards Emmy makes this one doable again as the bomb is going to find its way down. Tommy still, he's going to be alive, finds himself 4 kills, now looking for the 5th. That ace is just going to be dancing around, trying to do the tango. He gets away with the headshot, now looking for just one more to close this one out. It's going to be up against Dom, but he will secure the frag, and it's going to be the long 10-second defuse. The 4 frags of Pommy, 1 by Dom, and
3 players there facing towards Pommy, 2 from Speedway, directly peek him, and somehow Pommy wins out in those trades, takes down 2 players, spins around, there's a player behind him, somehow finds the crosshead to that player's head, and he will have a 4K in that round, gets that last kill on the player's site. Can't really remember who it was though, but regardless, he's at 4 frags that round. Incredible round there for Pommy.
The biggest thing for me and Pommy in that situation was just the fact he was able to stay alive.
Yeah, just staying alive there.
Like, the fact that he was able just to dance around that pillar and basically keep on just, doing his thing, and there was no sort of punishment coming in. It's a struggling start, but nonetheless, let's look past that now. Let's look forward into the present once again, because we're in our 2nd round, and, well, Endpoint, they don't need to respond to this one. They're going to be sitting back, they're going to be trying to do some work with these P250s, of course, the CZ on Jesp. they've got that kind of just almost blank effect on towards Ezio.
Yeah, they did
It's just
plant,
standard.
so they will have the money going to the next round. They are opting for the full save here. CZ on Jesp, that is all. And apart from that, P250's on the board. No armor, so expecting UFrag to take this. They have got their 4 SMGs actually. Pommy there to start things off. He's been sitting at 5 frags already, just on the second round as well. But as previously mentioned, 4 SMGs and the FAMAS coming for UFrag. Actually, you can see here more frags for Dom. They are opting in and stacking up that cash from these SMGs. And no players will fall for the CT side. This is good for their economy. Won't have to rebuy the armor, Kevlar and whatnot, and the nades will stay. So, having the SMGs, this can be hard, especially if you're playing on the A side of the SMGs. Those long-range engagements from mid, lower mid towards the A side and whatnot could be difficult. And actually, yeah, we will see a SMG drop there. Pommy opting in for the M4. I believe that's going to be going towards B, though.
Overall, a pretty big round is going to be what is brought to the table. Of course, these SMGs, a bit of a gamble up against these rifles, but in the same regard, they have some money to play with. It's going to be an opening pick, backwards and forwards. Lazar and Pommy both to find themselves a piece of the pie, but it still is going to be that trade, and this will work wonders for Endpoint in terms of how to play off this. But in the same regard, UFrag, they don't have too much information.
That's definitely worth it for Endpoint right there. They do stop the CT aggression. I mean, yes, UFrag got some information. They see players outside A, but if you're UFrag right now, you spot all those players, you could be expecting them to slowly group together and go towards B. The Endpoint have been spotted outside A in T-spawn, and they don't want to show their hand too early. So Lazar gets the 1-for-1 trade then, does also tag up Pommy. So Pommy at 17 HP. Not really going to be seeing too much for him this round. He is playing A, so it's not really the end of the world if Endpoint do opt to go towards B.
That B site, a lot has been talked up about it, but for now, it is going to be a waiting game. Time is going to be the factor that just keeps on ticking down. Dom going to be holding the angle rather close with this SMG, but for now it still is just, oh, ever so
You saw where that smoke
patience.
came from as well. Sorry, that was a play and drop. Actually seeing that there was a player playing close under drop, so could exploit that later on, but here comes the B attack. No flash, it's just dry coming out. Dom with the UMP takes down 2 players. We'll get traded out by Imi though, so it's going to be 2 versus 3. The 1-man lead, 35 seconds. The bomb is not down.
Bomb not being down is going to be just a bit of a difficult predicament. The guard's going to try and go for that plant, but Gray, he's in the perfect spot to deny it straight off the bat. Leaving Imi in, well, just such a tough one. Not only a 1v3, but you just add some context into the mix. That bomb has dropped. He has to go for this aggressive push. Will connect the frag on towards Gray, so nets him a bit more of a lifeline, picks up the bomb. But surely planting this is just going to be such a hard task, but it's going to catch Adam.
Yeah,
But
that's
only
well
just
played.
Adam gets the swivel, and the SMG is going to do the job. And money to be gained by UFrag. A solid start.
Dom having the SMG there, playing close towards the crack wall, has the close range engagements. No flashes coming out from Endpoint. They go for the dry take, want to take the Angels, but the problem is Dom wins them. Gets 2 frags, gets traded. Was equal numbers, but he made it the 2 versus 3. In that 2 versus 3, they slowly pincered the players that are on site and took them down 1 by 1. And Imi, unfortunately, not able to clutch that 1 versus 3. So, 3 for UFrag now. Endpoint on the full save, and this is a strong CT start coming out from UFrag, sorry. And this is what I wanted to see if they have any chance of taking this.
Dom really cutting it quite close, and eventually will be punished after doing a respective amount of damage as Max to find another headshot on towards Adam. Well, somewhat of a shoulder shot at that, but still a frag nonetheless. So, Endpoint, they're doing some damage now. That's good in one regard, but at the same point of view, it's still going to be difficult. They're still up against this pretty bulky buy from UFrag, of course. Nothing really, over dramatized or nothing we wouldn't expect. But Endpoint, if they can get a plant here, be
They
pretty
have the
solid.
rifle
Yeah,
as well,
great.
Jeff, so they could play a contact, but Jeff does fall, and Cray with another one. He's spraying through the smoke, can't really connect too much more. 2 versus 3, low HP on Lazar. He does have the rifle, but no armor, so he will, expect to lose those duels if they are 1 versus 1. Still, though, a minute on the clock. They can try and take a few more guns out of the CT side before they do fall. Unless, a miracle can happen. Lazar can pull out some incredible headshots, and maybe there's a chance they can win this round if they can group together, have the 1 versus 1 towards A and drop. Could see a miracle happening.
Well, you certainly are a bit of a believer.
Well.
Well, I mean, I like to run on that optimism train, so let's follow this one right through as we are coming down to 35 seconds or so. So if we are going to see any sort of movement, it really has to begin to take some form, as it is going to be that smoke going down towards the block side. The flash will be popped off to be a bit more of an aiding factor, but look at Krayswap. He can pretty much just drop this one dead. He's going to peek on out, takes the shots on towards Lazar, and well, now Ezio, surely at this point, the dream, it's over.
Close range though, you get 1 kill, but Pommy behind him does take down Ezio. 4-0 now in favour of UFrag. So if they win this round, we could be seeing, more than 6 rounds on their CT side, unless Endpoint can get something going on this one. Will Lazar buy the AWP? Yes. So he goes for the AWP, no head armor, has the flashbang as well. I want to see some early aggression from Lazar here. I want to see some early frags, openings on the map that Endpoint can exploit and go from there. Get the bomb down, play the after plants. These are such smart and clutch players. They need to be in those positions. Hopefully, Lazar with his AWP will take things into his own hand. But no, opting in for that, quite passive setup playing outside A. We do have some aggression towards the long though from the T's.
Endpoint clearly have got their eyes set on towards something. Whether they're actually going to be able to make something out of it is a whole different question, as it is going to be Emmy to be the man leading the charge. But look at this crossfire coming in. It is Cray and Dom. Now they are in slightly different positions,
They
but
can bait as well. They can bait for each other.
well, that bait, that could be fatal. But for now, let's see how the two sides go about this. It's going to be an Ishamotov, and well, it's just not quite going to work already. One will fall. Let's see if at least Dom can find himself that trade frag, as he is going to be sat down. Now, they haven't checked this one, the T side. They don't know he's there, so this gives Dom that ability just to really wait for the perfect opportunity. Finds the first, now looking for the second. Nearly makes a mess of things, but he gets away with it. Big mistake coming in from Endpoint.
He can backstab as well as the players go towards A.
This is perfect coming in from him now. He literally nothing Endpoint can do in terms of trying to respond to this. They're stuck in just such a difficult spot. Laza always curious on where to look. Looking
Don't
like he's
throw
going to
away
be
that
holding his
frag,
angle.
Dom.
This could be completely shut down. The angle is going to be held, and he will land a flick. So finally, he's going to see a bit of more response. And Laza exceptionally smart in the way he approaches things. But nonetheless, you have to look back towards this T side. Still, they have got themselves on towards the site.
Definitely in favour now of Endpoint now. They do have the one-man advantage, 30 seconds on the clock, and they can now plant for long. And they do have Ezio, I believe, that is outside long. So he can play the 1 versus 1 if things do get dire. But in this situation, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a save. The AWP is so hard in this retake, especially on A, and he's about to walk into the clutches of Laza's AWP.
Yeah, just the fact that angle is being held really just kind of cuts off those odds. But it is looking like there's bit by bit inching out. And if Hannah just is patient about this, he could net himself the frag. And that's pretty much exactly what is going to take place. Almost a scripted outcome as we talk about the possibility. But it still is only a 2v2. And that bomb... well,
Yeah,
it
they just want to
keeps
take money
ticking.
at the hands. This is actually quite smart from Ufrag. They know that this is the first round that Endpoint have won. So instead of just throwing away their guns and giving the rounds and allowing the T's to keep their guns, instead Adam's going to play for exit frags, take guns out of the Endpoint side. Slowly whittle down their economy. And if they win this, they will reset them. So it could be looking at what, 6-1 if Ufrag win this. But anyway, Ufrag have money. They will have the buy. And what we saw there was a great play from Dom, crouching. Obviously, when Amy checked that corner in the little cubby there as he got boosted up, he did not spot Dom's head, and that netted him 2 kills. The problem was, though, he did get a bit, I wouldn't say cold feet, more hot feet. He didn't want to stay there. He knew that players were going to come for him, but instead he walked into Laza's scope, and unfortunately for him, he throws that 1-man lead, and in the 3 versus 3, they lost it.
Well, Laza pretty much being a saving grace. If he didn't go for that kind of swivel 180 and actually hold the angle, that round could have been completely different.
Yep.
But nonetheless, we get to see now if that reset is going to come back full circle. The whole of this east side, it is going to be some level of long control. Anything to be claimed. Dom, once again, the man to try and really plant that stake down and say, no man shall pass. And for now, it's doing him a good deed. Nothing really going to be getting close, but at the same point, we're very kind of early steps into things. So don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves again. Just going to bring things back down to kind of a level playing field. This is just going to be the angle to be held by Dom, and pretty much the same sort of stance being taken by Endpoint. They're not quite ready to begin to push on up. We are starting to see them kind of group up towards door. It is going to be that double peak begin to take some formation, and Dom,
He wins it. That's so important. Hardly any map control for Endpoint as well. Look at B platform. There's no one there. Look at towards long and mid. There's only Ezio here. 50 seconds on the clock. This is going to be so hard. They're going to have to push into flashes, into Molotovs, and push into the crossfires of the CT side. But Dom with the opening frag, and another one for Adam with his AWP towards B. No map control. Mighty Max on the look. Adam spotted no one else there. He's going to expect this A hit, and here comes the rotations. Here comes the play.
looking to see what he can do. Of course, a rifle in his hand. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, looking to really make that play and pry things open for his team. This is going to be Negri once again held by the Temple. Finds the first, now looking for a quick flick on towards the second. Jess, he will respond, but nonetheless, the CT side, they're more than happy to keep on trading these blows because these fists, well, stamina, should we say, it's only going up towards one direction, and that is a CT side. Jesp finds himself 3 frags in total. Yes, gets himself on towards the site, onto that plateau. Goes for the aggressive elevator peak, and he gets the headshot on towards Adam. Nets himself in a 1v1, and all I can say is Ufrag, not like this. The peak is going to come on in, and Cray, he will secure it. But nonetheless, they cut that one so excruciatingly close.
There's no need. It's a 1 versus 4. Dom, I can't remember which other player. I believe it was Pommy. I'm not too sure, but they individually peek out 1 by 1 and go down 16 seconds of the clock. Just hide. Fair enough. Dom can't really hide too much. I think he's in a Molotov. I'm not too sure, but MVP of that round, definitely Dom. Gets the first pick, takes away that map control from Endpoint. Makes it so hard for Endpoint. Once My Max as well went down towards B platform, Adam takes him down, spots no other players. They know it's A. They have to walk into the crossfires. Pommy playing underneath balcony there as well. Takes down those players. It's so hard for Endpoint to win without the map control. And Ufrag down 5, and it's a reset, but they're going to force into it.
It's going to be a bit of a barrage running into what should have been a nade stack, but the Molotovs, they go into smoke, so now things are going to be a little bit more difficult, allowing this T-side an opportunity to strike, and for the tech lines, or should we say Laza, he will rain havoc, but even then, it is going to be things coming back down that unfortunate angular position. which is, yes, it's a bomb plant, but that is looking like it could be about it. It's going to be relying on Jess to step up in a big one, unless Ezio can do some work close range. But for him, it's about just hugging that angle, allowing Jess to go for these peaks, and then him being the more unpredictable spot of just being that close range. As the push is going to begin to take some form. Jesp is going to try and step up to the plate, finds himself a headshot on towards Pommy, and Jesp, that is insane. Yet again, huge frags coming out from him, and
Such smart play.
what was it, 4 frags in the last 3 in this one? Winning the round this time around? Great stuff coming in from him. Unexpected.
I mentioned that he was replacing Aaron, and I wasn't too sure what I was going to do, but he is definitely stepping up to the plate right now. 10-0-6 for him, and it's not just 10, any frags. It's 10 incredibly impactful frags. You saw they're playing towards stairs, takes the 1 versus 1, gets the player drop, holds down, well, not holds down, but holds off that drop pressure initially, allows Ezio on the site just to, peek left or right side, doesn't go down, plays the information, and wins the 1 versus 2. After that, we'll get the kill into Dom, as Dom walks into his scope, 5-2. Looking like it's going to be 5-3 though, but the thing is, Ufrag already sitting on 5 rounds.
Yeah, they're doing really well for their CT side, and to be honest, if they can get to 6, that's already pretty good, let alone then keep on trying to push things further, and Endpoint, they have got their work cut out for them in terms of keeping up the fight, because as much as I really kind of appreciate the fact that Jesper's stepping up, he's not going to win them all of the rounds needed to get that T side back onto a position where they can play for 9, for example.
Something interesting as well is that Ufrag's money isn't too good. They're sitting around 2,000 each player, 1,900 or so. Will we see the double 4 spots coming out?
Certainly something on the cards, and
not double 4 spots, sorry, double saves.
yeah,
double saves.
I'm looking at this one and going,
how important is the AWP joke? Well, Adam's AWP, he plays passive, we know this. He plays supportive, but he plays that slow and steady AWP style, and it works for him, and it works for Ufrag, because you do have aggressive riflers, like Dom, like Pommy, like Hyde especially. Cray will take down Imi. Will he save? Oh, so he take 9. Nothing really too major there. Will they go for the double save? I mean, with this money, you should really, unless they do have the balls to go for the FAMASs and whatnot.
well, I mean, there is one kind of element to run down here, just while we see them make the decision, which is this is Ufrag.
Yeah, they
Now,
do love
what is
double
the
save.
trait of Ufrag here?
Double save. I mean, yeah, it didn't work for them last week, but that's the thing. That was last week. We saw
I
the
think
difference.
with last week, we have to kind of brush it under the carpet and look
Yeah,
at like,
yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
last week, this is this week. Let's
That's
see
an
what we can
anomaly,
do.
for sure. It's not just that, but we saw the difference. Well, actually, Imi, will he get the kill? Yes, he will. Does get the fleck headshot onto Pommy, and he will go down. Did buy armor, so they did invest a little bit into this round, but as I mentioned before, they are going for that double save. They want the AWPs and the rifles and the utility leading into this next round. So, the point I was making, what was the point I was making? I've already forgot what I was saying.
It's completely gone. You were talking about kind of double saves and alluding off the back of that about whether the AWP was really impactful for Adam.
I was making a point and it has completely slipped my mind.
Well, you know what? Sometimes
was I
points,
gonna
they
say?
escape you, but it's going to come back to you. I'm feeling
Oh,
it.
yeah,
At
for
some point,
sure.
it's going to come back to you. So burst out with it when it does, but in the meantime, we are
No, it's
looking
gone.
at
It's completely
pretty
gone
much
from my
be
head.
a bit of a whittling situation for this round. Nothing too crazy taking
Ah,
place.
that was it. That was it. Talking
There we
about
go.
last week. So, first week of UK Masters, we saw Ufrag play Train versus GTN, generic team name. Major differences when we saw them play it versus Zenix the week after. Actually losing versus GTN and then winning versus Zenix in that second week. And give Adam 1 week with the team. And you know that, as I've mentioned before, Dom is now on the roster. He has been playing and practicing this week. And they've obviously practiced Cobblestone. It's a map they're comfortable with. But the difference between 1 week that you have with Adam on Ufrag is major, especially these young players that are going to be listening to him. They don't have egos. I mean, potentially they could, but they're going to be listening to what Adam's saying. They're going to be taking in the information that Adam's giving them, and they're going to be using it. So, hopefully they can take this into account and take this first map as it is their map pick. But anyway, we could be seeing a fast B, but they did double save the Molotovs, so they do have what is required to hold this off.
I feel like for them going fast is certainly a bit of a risk, especially when they have set things up, and for now it is going to be them getting knocked down a peg. They will force Adam out of position. Now looking to catch him off guard, and well, can it get anything done? The answer is going to no, just off the back of the sheer utilization of these grenades. Perfect stuff coming out from both sides of the board as Endpoint, they try and get themselves their hand in towards the B site, and it's quickly snapped off before it can even really begin to grasp at something. So
It's a shame.
great reads from either side.
I was happy to see Lazar there playing aggressive, trying to get that first pick on towards Adam, and we could see the first pick coming if they do go for that B plat control, but with Adam there seeing a chicken coop, I imagine they will play passive. They're playing a smart setup here. I like the setup. Cray watching for the players that come out crack, and then you've got Adam there, chicken coop, watching the right side of the box, and actually if no Olaf might smoke, they might just walk into him.
This might actually begin to take form as it's going to be the first shot that we miss. Cray's not quite doing what he needs to do, and Cray is going to miss the shot, but nonetheless it is going to be damage to be done backwards and forwards. But we talked about these blows being traded. Last time it favoured Ufrag, but this time not so much. The T-side, they're in a position. Ezio, he's going to step up to the plate, finds himself to quick headshots aided by the shoulder shot on towards Pommy, and one by one, Ufrag, everything just disappears into pretty much thin air. Dom, he is the last man remaining. Problems, well, plenty in that round, and an unfortunate way to go about things, but for Dom, there's only one place he's heading, And that is to the hill.
This is the problem with the CT side defense on Cobble. You lose one player, and suddenly, if you are the CT player there, you're exposed to so many angles. You saw what happened. As soon as Cray died, the player ran up Speedway. He can face drop, he can face sight, he can face chicken coop, anywhere that Adam was, and anywhere that Pommy was as well, playing outside drop. And Cray, unfortunately, was he flashed? I'm not too sure. He might have been half flashed, partially blind, and went for that spray onto Ezio, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Ezio, and unfortunately for him, he couldn't secure that kill. Ezio runs havoc, causes so much disruption on that B site, takes on Adam, and then you see the 4 kills there, sprays those players as they come up that connector smoke, and no flash from the CT side. They walk straight into his cross zone, his spray, and he takes them down. And now looking at the bar on Ufrag, they're going for the 4 spot, trying to get 6 on the board. And if they can get this 6 already, they're looking, a very strong half of them on their CT side.
I think at this point, playing for 6 is one of the best goals they can make, especially when you have to add into the context. We can look at the scoreboard right now, Endpoint. They strung together 4 in a row, which really does show some serious signs of improvement coming in from them in terms of the reads on their T side and just how to approach things. As Adam, he's the man with the AWP,
Lazar needs to
looking
win
for much more of an aggressive pick, but he finds the headshot on towards Lazar. You say his name, well, you talk about him trying to make an
This
action.
changes everything. This is going to be so hard now for their T's to get B-plat control. I mean, already a man down. Lazar loses the draw to Adam, and as I mentioned before, Adam is more of a passive AWP style. Yes, he's playing an aggressive angle, but that is not aggression. He's holding the aggressive angle, waiting for Lazar to pick into him. You saw what happened last round. Lazar went for the aggressive pick, Adam reads it, he's holding the angle, Lazar walks into a scope and he takes that first kill, and that first kill is so important as, now look at where the CTs are, they're playing so close, but Pommy here and drop is below Max. Max does win the spray as Max does drop to his death, but the fast rotation comes in, and look at the CT side, they're already rotating as they have the B-plat control. Dom now, can he get the frag? Does spray down 1. Can he get the second, or will Jess have another miracle round and win a 1 versus 4?
Bit of a crossfire setup. Jess will find the first, probably a crisp headshot on towards Cray, but gotta say, Snods, I'm not quite feeling it from this spot. He's just in such a tough one. The timing is going to be on his side, and, well, a bit of a hilarious way to go about things, but eventually he will be ended. Now, to dissect that round, the biggest thing for me from Endpoint
Biggest thing is that Ufrag just want to force buy.
That even...
Sorry to cut you off there, but
that's fine.
That
I think
was pretty
that's,
important.
that's kind of the pinnacle of why things is huge for them in terms of the current context. But you look at the way Endpoint approached that and how they actually picked up that force buy. We saw a whole lot of individual peaks, right? Endpoint, they lost that first pick, and then what did they proceed to do? We saw Max push in towards drop.
Yeah, the 1v1s went in the favour of Ufrag there. Hopefully Lazar doesn't lose confidence and still opts to play aggressive. The force buy does coming. The flash coming out for Cray. There'll be players coming through Speedway. Will he be expecting it? Yes, he will. Takes down 1. Can he get another one? The Molotov on site. Max will spray down that player, but Cray will get another one. Takes down Lazar. Ezio that sprays him through the smoke. Great game since there from Ezio. 3 versus 3. The kits on the CT side. The Molotovs and nades as well. Can they win the retake? The bomb isn't down though. It's actually quite exposed.
It is exposed, but look at Max's decision. He could just re-peek after re-peek. He will eventually be shut down by Dom, but nonetheless, this still opens up the round for the C-side. It's a 1v2, but it's from just one angle.
Dom is playing so well right now. Jesus Christ. And obviously, great plays there from Cray. Expects the Speedway push through the smoke. You saw him there playing outside block. I'm not too sure which player it was. I can't really remember, but jumps through the smoke with the underhand flash. Cray, only gets partially blinded, actually wins the spray this time. Takes on that player, takes on another one that crosses the site. Dom with 2 very crucial kills there, and so far he's been playing incredible.
Pretty much stepping up exactly when needed.
Definitely earning the spot as well on the Ufrag side.
Oh, that even in itself was now, you have to really kind of just look at this scoreline and go 7-5. Endpoint, you're going to want to start seeing them get something done here as Ufrag. They are going to look to run away with this one and just keep on, sprinting ahead into the distance, as for now it is going to be a set of Tech 9s that seem in the hands of Jess, but they do have those 2 rifles on towards Lazar and Ezio, so I am, part of me excited to see what they can deliver, as it is going to be kind of push up towards this A-side, trying to really take some shape, and a frag backwards forwards for Dom. Well, if you say his name again, he's in pretty much the perfect spot to just do so much damage. Max will try and eventually punish him, and it will be the Tech 9 headshot to end his days, but the rest of the team, they are still set up. Now Pommy looking to fill his shoes, and he does a good job of it, but again, these 2v2s, that is right now what's causing Ufrag such a difficult spot. As most importantly, site control has been gone.
How does Cray not get that kill? Oh my god, Adam. In the 1 versus 2, now low HP on Max, but he's got the AWP, doesn't really matter too much. Oh my goodness, you walling. Oh, does get the flick as well. The 1 versus 1, both these players are low HP. Adam, don't overface just yet. Play this smart. He's in the position now to win this. The bomb will go down. Max will plant, or will he up for the fake? Yes, he will. Adam, though, I think he's read this.
Max is being very, very patient about how he approaches this. He doesn't want to rush things, but at the same time, he just backs up in towards Adam, and great stuff coming from him, really applying, full just game sense to that one. Read it like a book, and great stuff coming from him as an individual, but from the rest of the team, as much as it did like a bit of a, a splintering round towards the end, at the start, really kind of the big point that I did like from them was that, okay, that initial kind of frag hemming from Dom was great. Then he eventually was traded out, but then Pommy was there to fill his shoes, and it was kind of this trading game from the CT
It's
side.
not just that, but
sets
it's also the way that he played it as well. Didn't overface. You know, played it passively. Unfortunately for him, Max came around the corner swinging, had an instant headshot, and obviously Dom having no head armor went down immediately. 8 rounds on the board already for Ufrag. The buy coming out, UMP onto Pommy. Maybe expecting a lower buy, but endpoint. They're going for the fast play here. Molotovs are out. Flashes are coming over. What can they do?
The answer right now is going to be just try and hold things off as these flashes, they are going to be a popping. It's just going to be them getting these free peeks. Dom, he's going to try and respond, but this time, that ever so greatness in terms of the training we talked about, it is just nowhere to be seen. Ufrag, where are you on this site? You're just losing all of these individual battles. Great. Next to fall into the grave. Ufrag, well, it seems they have all just fall into line per se, as it is just going to be Dom. And, well, backed up by a second teammate at that.
Massive miscommunication there from the CT side. Nobody watching Speedway allowed those players to push in. But anyway, Lazar holding this angle here. Will he allow those players to come to sight, or will he win the duel right now? That's the hype. Yes, he will spray some down. He's low HP though. My Max though. 3 faces on the left side of the statue. Takes down Dom, but I mentioned before, nobody is watching Speedway. Those players push in. Spray down. I believe it was Adam at Rock with the op. He will go down. Another player died as well, making it a 3 versus 4. Endpoint win it. They win the force spot. No AWP, and you see what happens when they play aggressive. I mean, arguably on paper, the 5 that are on Endpoint are better. Well, not better, I would say more experienced and whatnot than the 5 on Ufrag. And you see what happens when they bring it to them. When they play aggressive, they play the Angels, they win.
They would certainly have to mix in a T-side on Cobblestone is something that is always going to be difficult to try and hold on that kind of sheer onslaught, and that translates nicely in first round, as we are seeing a pretty much exact same clone of the previous. It's just going to be, let's push on towards this B-side, let's try and see this level of response, and so far, Adam with a CZ, it's not quite going to cut it. Now, of course, for Ufrag, winning this round is already going to be a ridiculously difficult task, as is when you just look at
They don't
what
really
they
need
could
the round
bring
as
to
well.
the table.
8-7 potentially at the end of this as well.
They're playing for the best possible result.
Yeah, obviously, but what I'm saying is, yes, they force spied. Yes, they might not win this round, obviously. No kits and whatnot. It's not looking the best. And they're just going to go for those stats on the board. If Hype and Adam can get a few frags here. But anyway, as I was saying previously, 8 rounds on the CT side. Cobble, 2 more than I would have expected, especially when you look at the teams on paper as well. Ufrag coming out striking. They did win the pistol, so, you know, it could be a bit of misinformation, a bit, you know, not showing the cards as they were presented. But if Ufrag win both pistols here, I mean, we saw what happened last week. Endpoint lost. How many? Yeah, they went 5-1 in pistols.
Yeah, it was pretty damn rough. I think they picked up the last pistol round
Yeah,
of the
versus
night, which
CX
was
or Mirage, I think it was.
their pistols in a nutshell have
Yeah,
been
long
have been
story
dastardly.
short, they're not the best on pistol rounds, but strange. I mean, Ezio as well, such a nice aim. Lazar great with the pistols. Mighty Max, very crisp aim. Imi as well, did show some nice headshots when we saw him on Mirage, especially Mirage. It feels like whenever we see Imi Mirage, he does step it up. And Jesp, obviously, so far has been playing well, but he did start to cool off towards the end of that half, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly. I was kind of looking to see if Ufrag bring something a little bit different to the table, which looks like we are going to see some smoke, some pressure being guarded in towards drop, but it is going to be some quick 1-for-1 trades. But the CT side, they have this one on lockdown. Pommy is going to go aggressive over towards Chicken Coop, but that only extends so far as Lazar, he's just going to hold the angle, gets himself that one tap, and it leaves Cray in pretty much 1,000 places to check, and really not too much he can do. Again, he's in this kind of spot where he's going to play for this 1v3, peeking dead set into his Lazar, should be able to at least find this frag, pitting him in a doable spot at that, but I'm looking at utility right now on Endpoint. Aim alone is going to seal the deal, but 2 smokes, flashes, a frag grenade on Max.
And the kit. I mean, the thing you got to think about there is Pommy, he swapped the burst fire on the Glock when he was standing right outside Lazar. Lazar hears that, and when you hear it, yes, it's still a hard angle because you're going to be peeked into it. But it preemptives you. What's the word I'm looking for? Preemptively, you preemptively expect it. You know, you're a little bit faster, a little bit sharper when you know it's coming. It's not going to catch you off guard. And fortunately for him, Pommy will go down to Lazar. That's the most important frag of the round, is the bomb goes down by Max with the Max, and he takes down one, plays down another one. Dude, that's a team kill. Yes, it was. Cray takes down top, takes down Dom. Max trying to get the 4K. Actually, it's a 3K. I take that back. I lied because that was the team kill coming out from Cray. Adam Xo mid. It's not looking too good for him.
Clearly following with the current political time, should we say, as they are just going to pretty much
They are
be the
getting
current.
trumped.
Well, aside from getting trumped, they pretty much are money printers in that round, just feeding it directly in towards Max with that Mag 7, and well, great stuff coming out pretty much across the board, keeping it nice and clean. But where does this leave Ufrag now?
Well, they are currently in the deficit of 1 round. I mean, after such a strong CT start showing from Ufrag, they need to win this round. And why has Hype got a Glock? Why is he DC'd and standing still?
I have a feeling if he's DC'd,
Let's check chat. Let's check chat real quick.
Yeah, it has been called.
I mean, so far nothing's happened in this round.
Yeah,
So
it's been called well and truly before anything too crazy has taken place. So we can know that this is gonna be cancelled out. So this gives us, let's say, a good opportunity to talk about the second half and really set the scene.
but one thing you have to remember as well is these guys are friends, obviously. So Imi is agreeing to the rollback, so I expect we will see that. So talking about this round, this is the bike anthem Ufrag. SMGs on endpoint. So I mean, if Ufrag want to play the long range battles, sorry, excuse me. Play the long range duels, go towards A and whatnot, try and get those long range engagements on those CT side players that are playing the A site. We shall see what happens very soon. So, what do you think so far from you, Frank?
I liked what I saw on that first half, but the second half, it feels like we've not really seen enough, to be honest, to really make too much of a judging call. One thing I do want to see from them on their T side is much more meticulous play, because to be honest, I look at Adam and I've seen him play. I've stood behind him at a lot of van events, right? I've seen the guy put some, a lot of experience into the game. He's been playing this game for a ridiculous amount of time.
Many years.
And one thing that has always sat with me is very, very, strategical with the way he approaches things and the way he sets out every single player on his team.
Clinical would be the word.
Clinical is, pretty much the word that sums it up. So for me, T-side, I want to see Adam really shine through for this lineup. Now, of course, I know there is the preface that, yes, it's only been a week worth of practice, and that always is going to be a point that is stressed. But there's always something you can do, and there is always something to be said for an IGL who is talented enough to make those mid-round calls that can make a huge difference when it comes down to games, especially on a map like Cobblestone, where on a T-side, if you can be dynamic, it stops you from just doing the de facto standard, okay, let's try and work something towards B, let's try and split through drop.
Well, actually playing with Adam, one of the things I noticed is he is actually quite a strong mid-round caller, so he will give the default and whatnot, and actually allows players to chime in a little bit there, so if a player has a Hello, so we are back with UK Masters Week 4, first best of 2 of the night, and actually first game of the night, UFrag versus Endpoint on Cobblestone. But there are a few issues.
Yeah, I think that's pretty apparent at this point. It's going to be some delays, guys, but don't fret. The whole reason there are delays right now is based on competitive integrity. We don't want to jump back into things with a rash decision that cuts you guys off. No, we want to make sure this one is as fair as possible for both sides, and understandably, it is going to have an effect on the flow of the game. Momentum is going to be something that gets somewhat kicked to the curb.
Yeah, it's been a balanced game so far. I mean, you could argue Endpoint having the momentum there. Obviously, they did win the pistol in the following round, so UFrag on their bye, momentum reset, whatnot. And but has been a very close game so far. Obviously, on the first half, UFrag getting 8 rounds and Endpoint on 7, and then Endpoint winning the pistol and the subsequent round. And they're currently at 9, UFrag at 8, and it's now the bye round. So sooner or later, once all this stuff's fixed and money's sorted and backups are sorted, all that's all done, we're going to set the timer to 30 minutes, but, you know, we could be back earlier.
Anytime, I think, is pretty much the
Anytime,
go-to.
yeah.
So the easiest way to go about this is, as much as we may try and whisper things through your ears at some point, just hop on the mics and give you guys an update. The best way to go about this one, if you want information, check out UK Masters on Twitter. You can find everything from there from a wonderful guy over at social media, and he'll make sure to hook you guys up with consistent updates, which is pretty much exactly what you guys need at this point. Of course, we understand this is not exactly what you guys as our viewers want to see, and well, we can only apologize on behalf of everyone here at the multiplayer esports side of things. But for now, we're going to head to a break. We'll catch up with you guys very, very soon.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And we are back a little bit earlier than anticipated, but
We got there in the
the
end.
admins have done it. They have done it, and they
Can we
have
just take
restored
a
the
round of
rounds.
applause for John? I feel like we have to
Yes,
just take a
Vicious
moment out of the
Horizon.
day. Vicious Horizon, he's doing his thing.
I'm not sure what he did, but he did it.
Yeah, I don't know like
You,
what
you
exactly
know more
he was
about this
figuring
than me.
out,
I had
but-
no idea what he did.
I
but
mean,
he
we
somehow has
faffed
done
with
it.
some text files and things started to work, right? That's pretty much how it
Basically,
works.
yeah.
That's, of course, very advanced level knowledge. Either way, we're missing something. We haven't been doing something for the last 10 minutes, and, well, we all know what it was. It was watching a match of Counter-Strike.
It's true, yeah.
That's true. So, what's happening right now? Of course, we're going into our 18th round. That's as much as
Yep.
we know. And there is one thing that I do kind of want to touch on. Things have changed from the last 18th round we saw.
Do you want to talk about it or me? Should I talk about it?
I feel like I want you to shed some light on this, because we were pretty backwards and forwards before we got into things on our thoughts on this and what we thought was appropriate, what we thought was okay.
I think it's fine. Oh, yeah. I mean, to the admins and whatnot, we are ready to go. But anyway, as we were saying, so yes, UFrag, they're not opting in to buy this time. They've thought, you know what, lads, it's a bit slower, and we're gonna go for the Tech 9s, and who would have thought a double save coming out from UFrag?
Yeah, I think that.
But they, to be fair to them, it was working for them on the CT side.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is UFrag we're talking about again. I'm just going to sell that point well and truly home. That's my de facto standard. The thing I know about UFrag,
They love the double
they
save.
love a double save. They're just straight up on that save. Either way, we are going to be going straight into this one. It's time for us to swivel on around, back up to the monitor above us.
And
Because
real
that's-
quick, producer, if you can hear me, can we get the lights dim just so I can see that screen?
Yeah, I mean, the blur is real intense right now, so hopefully we can make out what we're seeing through that blur. But
There
bit.
we go. We're prime now. Anyway, boys, Tommy pushing up A long. Does get the first right, but Ezio will take down one. Ezio with another one. Takes down Cray. 4 versus 3. Actually, 3 versus 2 as my Max gets that nade kill and Dom finds a frag for himself.
look at the HP on towards Dom. Now that's going to be a little bit concerning, but he's going to try and meet the cross. It will eventually be shut on down, as it is now going to be a much more difficult spot for Hype to try and contend with.
Yep.
It will be Jess just to mop things up and make himself some sweet, sweet money. And, well, a pretty similar story to me said, of course, on the Ezio side of things. Endpoint, $7,000, $9,000. They have a whole load of Skrilla. UFrag in comparison to double save, it will net them that buy. Better by all means not in too peak cheap a spot.
Yeah, so they do have the AWP, the rifles and whatnot going into the UFrag side, and the Endpoint 2 rounds ahead. They do have the Max 7 and my Max. I believe he's playing towards A. I'm not too sure on that one. But anyway, he's playing close angle anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. No, I think he's the drop player. Anyway, no AWP for the CT side, and Lazar with the SMG would much rather have that long range rifle. Instead, he's going to be playing B with just a UMP, but he's playing close ranged. Ooh, actually, that shot from the smoke. I'm misconnecting with Lazar, but Dom over the smoke. Once that smoke fades, will he get that first round?
UFrag clearly looking to bring this fight to the skies, set themselves up to be this kind of aerial force that snipes on down and picks apart their prey, almost vulture-esque. But let's see if they can actually do what they're trying to live up to right now. Can they find that initial opening pick? As Dom, he's being ever so patient. He is holding an angle. Tell Kingdom come. Is it going to net him that frag? As the flash will go off, is going to crouch himself down slightly, so doesn't quite want to give away an easy pick in return. But he's still just holding. He's just waiting. Endpoint in the flip side. Right now, they're in a comfortable spot. They've got 55 seconds on the board. They know they have to wait for UFrag to make a play. And UFrag, to be honest, it feels like they're sort of in a box because we've seen this lurk coming from Prey over towards the A site. But it's still a pretty tremendous stack. And the shot is going to be missed. Adam now looking to push out on the back of things. But Lazar, he's moved in. He's gone up for the pincer. He's up close and personal with this SMG. And another shot to be missed. It's just going to be the age of reckoning for Adam. He's going to be dropped on deck. Cray makes things work with this lurk. But how far is that going to go as his teammates, they're just dying over towards B. They are getting absolutely nothing done with this push. And, well, they tried to be vultures. Turns out they're just pigeons.
Cray now. 2 versus 4. Cray and Hype now. Trying to take this with the 20 seconds left onto the round. Not even sure to get the bomb now. Cray needs to find the first frag, but we'll go down to Ezio. So, unfortunate scenes here for UFrag. Adam had to hit that shot on Lazar in midair. I mean, I mentioned he's a slow and steady AWPer. He's not the most mechanically intensive player, and unfortunately there, you know, he didn't quite work his way. And yes, you get the easy shots, but sometimes you do need that flashy play to hit the flashy shots. But at the end of the day, plays into UFrag's hand, and it works for them, but not this round and not this time. 3 rounds on the board now in the lead for Endpoint. They are cruising ahead at 11-8, and now the force by coming from UFrag. Can they battle it back?
The key thing about this force buy is UFrag know at this point they have to start putting on the pressure onto Endpoint. They have to start really applying that squeeze, because for Endpoint, this is their 4th round.
Hit
in a
me
row. It's
with
been a
the
complete
AWP
squeeze
actually
for
as
UFrag.
well.
It's going to be that initial mid pick, and
It's
well,
crumbling. It's just crumbling, isn't it?
I have still a level of hope left within my soul. I'm going to keep trying to really push that one right up until that last final breath. But again, we're back to that same, pretty much almost exact style of Ufrag over towards this B side. Let's see if they can at least elevate themselves, flop around a little bit more, and try and make a play, as it is going to be Pommy this time around holding the elevated angle, but it is going to be pre-aim by Jespen. He's hungry for this one. He wants the one-tap, not quite going to connect it, but the repeat after repeat is still netting him so much damage, and the flash is going to attempt to be popped, and that alone gives them an opportunity just to force them back, and Ufrag, they've taken so much damage. Adam 50, Pommy 22, Dom 45.
It's not just that as well. I mean, looking at the map control, Jesp has control of B platform. That's so important as well. It means they can have more attention towards drop. And as I say, that Ezio takes down the first player. Hype will go down. Ezio with another one as well. Jesp now can mop up these last two players on low HP. Jesp from stairs. That's one. What can Dom make of it? Tries to get the flick onto him, but does win the duel versus Jesp. He will take him down, but low HP, 1v4. I'm not really looking too much. Actually, camping in that little cubby corner will go down to my team max. So 4-round lead now for Endpoint. Money isn't looking good at all for Ufrag. I mean, they might opt for a force buy, but I'm expecting the save here. And Ufrag, they're playing without the AWP and they still play the pick style. Why? I mean, the question is, why are you playing slow and steady when Endpoint have the AWP and you saw what happened? It played to their favor. Imi with an AWP got the first frag and took down, I think it was Hype or Cray going towards A, and that left them in a 4 versus 5, and then the next pick came out as well for Ufrag. So, for Endpoint, sorry. But anyway, Ufrag on this fast A shot push.
Pent-up aggression happening in this Ufrag side now. They are looking for the punishing blow in the Tech 9s. They seem to be what's doing it. It's going to be that initial headshot onto Dimi to restart the show, and well, Max looking to be on the receiving end of perhaps just a little bit more, but Ezio, he peeks in from door. He's looking to build his own bloodbath, his own prophecy up within this scenario, and so far so good. But Adam, the AWP we talked about being a bit more passive and not really being able to make it work this time around, goes to the peak, finds himself the frag, and for Ufrag, this round's actually looking much more winnable than previous scenarios. Not only a 3v3, the bomb's going to go down. There is nothing Endpoint can conjure up to
I
stop
don't think
this.
the Molotov's going to work.
The Molotov almost a little too far back, but Lover's still going to find the pick, but it's going to be Max to come in from behind, shot down Pommy, and one by one, they seem to be able to fall, and the individual picks from Endpoint, a retake,
Well,
perhaps singly, but nonetheless, it pays off. And well, now I'm looking at this one and going, I was going to stress the point for Ufrag off the back of this, where they got a bomb plant, they can now try and play into this one with some sort of level of aggression. But then I look at how that kind of round played out. Yes,
Then
they
again,
had the limited money,
yeah.
but the
I mean,
singular peaks on a retake, it's a bit so-so for me.
it's not just that, but it's also the fact that Ezio just facing to Adam when there was absolutely no need. 4 versus 3. Ezio just repeats again from connector, but in his favor, Endpoint do pick up that round. It's going to be 5 rounds on the ball for them, and the momentum is definitely in the Endpoint side. I mean, I mentioned off the broadcast that the winner of the next round coming off the pause will have the momentum, as, you know, once you have a 30-minute, 20-minute break, that completely changes everything. Ufrag had such a strong opening into the game, and unfortunately for them, that pause has diminished whatever momentum they had, and the first picks and the frags are going in favor of Endpoint. But Ufrag in a position where they can bring this back. Endpoint need 3 and Ufrag need 5. 8-3, very winnable, very doable even.
Yeah, certainly it's a position they can work with. As right now, all that's left to be said is Ufrag, well, simply put, they are looking to find themselves some frags as a team right now. They want to spread themselves out in units. They can get this initial pick and keep on making this play work and actually start off strong. That could be a completely different situation, as Hype is going to take that initial drop. Nothing to be gained of it just yet. Now, the big kind of laying question for me is, how are Ufrag going to approach this? Are they still just going to default that right? Are they going to be able to find his pick? And well, so far so good. Dom will claim the life of Jess. But still, my mind drawn to the fact, what is their end goal here? Where do they translate this default into an actual push?
Well, I mean, I could say there will be openings onto each of these sites. 1 kill towards A and then 1 kill towards B, but he will get the reef. No, I take that back. He does whiff that shot, and in favor of Cray there, he stays alive just for a little bit longer, and so much pressure now onto the site. Both of these sites, A and B, but Lazar on that statue platform does take down one, but will be traded, but it's Ezio on the backup, on the cavalry retreat. No, he does get 2, but falls, and now it's Imi in the 1 versus 2. AWP and AK to hold of the Marfa, and he's on the other bomb site, so Cray staying alive there and actually somehow slides himself into connector, out of the gaze of Imi, and just staying alive and causing so much pressure. It's almost like a backstab in the CT defense, not allowing Imi to rotate towards B, and you've seen what happened there. Comes just 30 seconds too late, 40 seconds too late, and we'll go down to Cray. So, Ufrag, they finally have a round on the board.
Most importantly for me, that's the end of a 6-round streak from Endpoint. So
It's a 6. Jesus
it
Christ,
was a
that happened
6-round
so
streak.
fast,
They
didn't
won
it?
every single round in the second half. So what I want to stress right now, is this where things change?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say Ufrag are a streaky team, but at the same time, once you're on the T side and you have control of the CT economy, yes, you can get rounds on the ball in cognitive fashion and, you know, in a row, try and get 3 if you can break the economy. The problem is Endpoint money As you just mentioned, they won 6 in a row, so they're going to be able to buy for a couple more. Let me actually take a look at the money if we can, while we're at a bit of a standstill. That is the damage graph there. And so, money, they can still buy for the round after this, even if they lose it. So this is the problem as well for UFrag. It's going to be 11 or so, 11-13 before they do break the money of endpoint. At that point, if they do it, then fair enough. They can make it 13-13. Loves that Molotov of the angle. Damage just a little bit. It's nice to see him play aggressive, and not just this time. As he does the bomb. Sorry, not bomb. He's a B platform there, just scouting to see if anyone will get aggressive. Ezio in drop now. Will he catch his players off guard?
He's in the smoke and he's going to jump straight on towards Hype. He gets the spray transfer on towards Adam, and that is beautiful stuff coming out from him. Just a masterpiece on how to control that M4, and that alone completely fires up in the shroud. But Pommy through the smoke, just right through the shroud, on towards Lazar. Complete perfect response. This is just a round mastercrafted at this point. Is Ezio over towards the second room? The flash will go off, but he's holding the angle. Dom's just going to walk dead set into him. We'll make it a little bit messy, but nonetheless, it's still going to be that frag, and Walcray.
He can go A.
But they could dive anywhere at this point. They have so much room to maneuver themselves, but realistically, you look back towards Pommy, he's well and truly wormed into this one, so the B site, that is going to be the more, albeit predictable spot, but the one that their best chances will lie towards Pommy. He's just going to be holding this angle, looking to really catch off this retake, as it will set itself up to get going as Max swings out towards doors, and it will be a headshot to be claimed, leaving Cray now.
He took too much damage though in that engagement.
So much damage to be taken.
Oh my goodness!
1v1s, they are being claimed. A headshot back on towards
Oh, he's won it!
The angle. He goes on towards Max, and UFrag off the back of Cray.
He is the Cray lad. Yes, that
individual
1
frags.
versus 3. That's major. That's so important for this game. And money on the endpoint side. They can buy into this, but I mean, as I mentioned before, if this goes to 11-13 and UFrag win this, they're going to reset the money of endpoint. We could be looking at 13-13. I mean, wow, such great play there.
That right there, that is some great UK counter strike.
But I was
going to
say,
today.
one of the things I was going to say as well is, Lazar taking damage from the Molotov, put him to 60, I believe it was like maybe high 50s, what, 60 or so HP. And there's only 2 bullets from Pommy. Imagine if he had full HP. That spray, you know, Lazar could have won that duel if he had just had like half a second more time to work with. But unfortunately for him, Pommy won that duel, took the side. But anyway, into the current round, Lazar trying to get a little bit more aggressive as well to B plat. Having B plat control is so important for endpoint, as it makes it so much harder for UFrag to try and get those individual duels onto the B site and take it in those 1 versus 1 fashion. But anyway, the first peek coming out from Mighty Max, holding that flusher angle, does take down Cray. 1 mad lead now for endpoint, and in these rounds, we usually see the lead going in UFrag's favor when they win, you know, when they carry the rounds out. But now UFrag, they shall be tested, as they are the ones at the 1-man deficit.
The interesting thing for me is endpoint right now, as much as yes, by technicality these are peaks, for the CT side, they're playing just static. They're holding an angle, they're sitting there, they're pitching out those tents, and they're pretty much going, okay, you know, we're out on our big game shoot right now, we're looking for that deer, and it's just going to wander straight into our crosshair. And we talk about wanting into a crosshair. Lazar, he has himself set up with a flash. It's going to be blinding. Jess will respond with a 1-4 and back on towards Pommy.
Oh, this setup is so good, though.
They got themselves on the B site, and well, the setup is actually going to be somewhat a bit of a dribbling effect as that rotates.
He's going to hear everything,
but look at that position coming in. It's just going to be a quick headshot to be claimed by Dom, shutting down the effect of Max. The information will still be guarded, of course, but then Hype, he's there to shut down Imi, and 1 by 1, the CT side trying to make a play off the back of information they thought was had. Well, it's all but been a ruse as Jeff will jump on out, trying to make it still something out of what feels like nothing, as Ezio a 1v1 brings it back to at least a workable spot, but this is going to be so damn difficult for him. He's up against Adam, who's made this exact sort of play in the past.
He's playing so aggressive, though. He does opt to throw that smoke, and Ezio's got the cool low HP. He does tag him out once. 2 HP on Ezio. If he finds that 1 dink, he can win this. Adam's at 86 HP, but he needs to find a crevice through that smoke and try to take him down. But Adam wide faces from Van and takes down Ezio. Only 2 HP, so UFrag, they take it. And now look at the money on endpoint slide. They're going to have to go for the force buy, and if they force it and they lose it, no, I think actually Max buying that pistol will mean they will save, but the most important frag there was Dom. Dom kills Mighty Max in drop. I mean, Max heard all of the information. He heard the players rotate from B to A. That's why he saw Imi jumping up balcony. He did not expect Hype there to be so close, and Hype wins the duel. Dom wins the duel, and Dom, sorry, such a phenomenal game from him.
Well, it's almost rather ironic that you're kind of running over the different players, right? Because it fits into the situation quite well. Things swung backwards and forwards, just all over the place, and you can't really tell in that sort of spot which way things are swinging towards, because all these players, they're facing off at each other in just so much quick succession that it is just a clear-cut bloodbath that leads us to this point in time. Of course, we've already set the point in motion that is endpoint on these pistols. Now, pistols, a bit more of a lonely factor, but nonetheless for UFrag, they're looking just to mop this one up, and money-making not really on the cards. Yes, have that SMG on towards Dom. Yeah. For UFrag, the best thing, just keep it clean.
A point you can make as well is the reason we're not really seeing too much of a tactical play coming out from both these teams is they are new lineups. I mean, Jess, obviously, this is the first official, and I believe he's only had 2 days practice or so with endpoint, but the reason they did get the the tip that Jess was good is because he is that hyper-aggressive rifle, and that's what I was thinking they needed. But anyway, Dom does get the first kill in. I'm hyping it up to be such an important duel, but at the end of the day, it is pistols, no armor. So aggression from the CT side, 3 players pushing, but Cray is going to hear all this. Lets 1 player walk past, there's 2, and on the third one, Spray's down 1. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. Going for that third, does take all 3 of those players down. Nice stat pattern there. And as we were talking before, these players, these teams even, they've only been playing together for maximum of what, 1 week? I mean, Endpoint, they have a different player each week. Each day, it feels like.
It's a bit of a roulette at this point. We talked about this,
yeah, actually, that's a good point.
weeks back, which is pretty much Endpoint. They pluck out a player they can try and get into the lineup.
Yeah,
and
but I really do like Jesp on this lineup.
I think if they can keep Jess in the lineup and actually keep him as a static member, this lineup has a lot of potential. But
For sure.
that's my concern right now, whether they can actually keep things together, because this is Endpoint we're talking about. It's been a bumpy ride the past couple of weeks.
Oh,
I
for
want to
sure,
see
for
something
sure,
stuck
for
together.
Are they in Premier still? Do they keep the spot? They won a match yesterday, didn't they? 16-14 or so on Mirage.
Yeah, so they
Or
have
16-8 on Mirage, they lost to Team Spirit.
it does allow them to try and retain that spot. I'm not quite sure on the specifics behind it.
We'll look at it for the
we
next
can
match.
look into that one, but for now,
Hopefully they stay in.
we talked about this sort of position where Endpoint,
Ooh, do they buy into
they've
this?
got a lot of money. Now, in terms of buying, they de facto standard, they have to buy into this one, they have everything they need. On the flip side, I'm kind of intrigued to see what sort of response is going to be brought to the table. It looks like we are going to see a bit of a pause roll on in, and
I imagine it's tactical.
looks like a very clutch pause, right down to the second, of course. More than happy to...
Who paused it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to catch on
Let's
right
take
now,
a
but
look real quick.
just checking on over towards this chat, looking to see...
Let me scroll down a little second
Yeah.
onto this. Oh, we're on camera. Hello, guys.
What's
Anyway, gentlemen, so who called that pause?
Keeping it casual.
Hey, who called the pause? Not pause. So it was Imi. It was
Imi,
Imi that
okay.
paused it.
Now the question is the reason. That's what we want to see.
Why have they paused? 5 players in the server on both teams. They're not saying tactical. Let's just talk about the round.
Yeah, let's
so,
just talk about what's going on. So,
no AWP,
26
and
rounds.
we're in game. We're live in game, so you can
Job
see
done.
it right there. But unfortunately, you need it. There we go. There
On
we
point.
go.
Let's swivel back around.
End point, on point, let's go. Anyway, so the buy. 4 rifles and an AWP coming out for Ufrag side, and actually Adam will have no AWP to contest versus. So, Adam will have no AWP to contest against. So, will he opt to play aggressive? The thing is, he doesn't know that, obviously. So, I mean, Endpoint, I wasn't too sure on their money. I believe Luzza could have gone glass cannon, but instead wants to play the rifle. And it's smart, you know. The aggression isn't really working for him or Jesp, so they're going to instead play more towards the site and play the retakes. But anyway, early drop control coming out from Ufrag, and if they can take control of drop, maybe find a frag onto Ezio as well, they can pinch it in this B-bomb site, or even go towards A. You see their 5th player. I believe that's Cray that is lurking towards long.
So he does set things up for three scenarios. The drop is going to come on in, hype them out to be leading the forefront of this charge. I'm intrigued to see Ezio's spot right now because he's getting a lot of damage just tagging on through. Knocked down to just 35, so a smattering of what he originally began on, but he's managed to pull himself back towards that second room. The flash is going to go off, but Hype looking like he wants to push this one. He is 100 out
so important
to really make a meal of this one, and well, so far going to be a little bit rough. He's actually going to get knocked down to just 10 HP himself, but this one really just being a bit of a
But they have
flailing
control of
over
drop, and
towards
there's no one playing outside window. I believe that's Imi that's playing towards A as well, the second player playing towards A, but he's playing outside in the open. But Lazza needs to find 1 or 2 frags. He gets a nice, that's Jesp, sorry. Lazza does chime in as well, gets down Dom, and actually through the smoke, Jesp will take down another player. It's Adam and Cray in the 1 versus 2 versus 4 now. But Cray in the 1 versus 4, Lazza does take down Adam. Ooh. Let's get the first frag though.
Cray making this one.
Oh my
It's a little
goodness,
more
could it be another
possible.
clutch?
Another headshot on towards Lazza.
8 seconds though.
Well, you set
GG.
things out. I think the time is the more factual point. As much as the dream may be alive for a clutch, and he will try his very best. The clock, well, it's going to stop for no man. We've talked about it in the past, and we can talk about it again as Endpoint.
Are we going to see
around.
another pause? Let me just enter there. Nope. Oh, we're good to go. Hopefully we're good to go. So, Ufrag obviously winning consecutive rounds. They can buy again. No AWP for this. So will we see a fast A play? Smoke off Matrix, get up mid fast. Maybe even go for the long take as well. Actually, nope. Yep. Adam will smoke off Matrix, but oh, this boost is going to be so impactful into this round.
Yeah, it's almost a bit of a hilarious one at this point, because as much as Ufrag, they've
It's rock, paper, scissors, isn't it?
read things like a book. It's the same sort of regard for Endpoint. Rock, paper, scissors, perhaps a great way to explain it, Snods, because at this point, it's so much damage. That is beautiful. Not quite a Kobe, because the frags will not be connected, but the rifles, they're the ones to try and seal the deal at this point. 47 and 48 Hype. He's going to fall behind Adam. Going to try and make the best of things, but things, they're flailing all over the place again. It's just going to be this chamber swinging around left, right, and center. But that flak damage is coming back to Horton and Pommy next in line to hit the deck. but it's a 3v3. Let's see if Dom can make a bit of a change.
Max 7, that's not you want him. Dom again. He's been playing so well on the CT and T side for Ufrag, but he will. That's Adam, sorry, goes down. That is the bomb dropped, and Prey on the late luck does take down one, and that'll be Luzza going down. It's going to be Jesp versus Dom.
The trades. If Pivotal to get himself to this point, it is going to be just trying to be ever so faithful with his repeats. Goes for the jumps. Dom now has the information. He knows exactly where to stand. Well, he holds the angle. He gets himself the headshot, and well, not only a great play, but so important for the Ufrag lineup, because now you look at this round, 13 to 14 stunts. If Ufrag lost that round, we could be seeing a complete different picture.
Do you reckon we could see Dom playing for Endpoint next week?
That's the question that I don't even want to get into at this point. I feel like that is not quite PG-13 for a UKCS stream.
PG-13? Oh, okay, you're talking about roster swaps. Can't do that, obviously. Anyway, 13-14 money is broken on the CT side, and no armor as well, so they could be forfeiting this as well with the USP. So we could be seeing 14-14 and, you know, Cobblestone notoriously favouring the T side, and 14-14 Ufrag at that edge on the T side. But anyway, early aggression coming out from Adam. So takes control of drop, trying to get information here to see what the setup is, and actually does get the first spray down onto Luzza. Pommy as well supports his teammate and takes down two of those players, and now we are going to be seeing the 3 versus 5 as they will fall down one by one like dominoes.
So it is going to be the expected outcome. They try and kind of almost play around this kind of, well, Dominatic style. They get shut down for it, and it leaves us at that 14.
Dominatic.
So, looking at this now, I want to kind of go, okay.
Oh my god, the money is so bad.
Ufrag, they're on the cusp of making something great, but this is really what I want to touch on
Oh
right now,
my goodness, the money.
They
could rush B. They could just rush B and win it. Or they could go for the fast A play.
Straight up, you think just a rush is the easiest way to seal the nail in the coffin?
Well, I mean, it's a change of pace, isn't it? That's the thing. That could catch the CTs off guard. Just a quick change of pace, and actually that boost there could be so impactful later on into the round. But anyway, we're going to be seeing 2 players towards drop and 3 players towards mid. So this could be a late drop take, but no AWP as well for the Ufrag side. So it's going to be difficult if they opt to go up. If they opt to go up long, obviously no AWP to take those duels, and instead opting for the... Oh god, Ezio, if he goes down here, this is going to be monumental. Hype though, spraying the smoke. Ezio with the FAMAS, not really the best guy in this situation, but anyway. Peering on now towards Mighty Max, on that off ankle, might win the duel here versus Cray.
Hold it. Oh, goes to a bit more of a dropping effect, but nonetheless, that fall will still
not like this.
towards Cray. Ezio over towards door, gets the frag on towards 5, and one by one, Ufrag. They were right on the edge of their seats in terms of getting themselves so close to closing round, but things are beginning to get a little bit rough. Maxwell leaves managed to pen himself that 1-for-1 trade as Adam tries to put up a bit of a fight, but this is just life support being just chopped right on through as Dom, last man remaining, 29 HP, a 1v3. Now we've seen some amazing plays, but I'm looking at the map right now. This crossfire, it leaves him with not really too many angles to run towards.
Oh, that's a crispy one. So Mighty Max can get the second one. Yes, he can, but unfortunately for him, Jesp, he realizes the situation, peeks out, takes down Dom. I mean, Dom's must be over 30 by now. 34 frags, my goodness. He's been playing on them for a week. I mentioned before last week that, yes, he's an inexperienced player, but his aim is phenomenal. And his aggressive playstyle, when it works, it definitely works.
He's the catalyst for Ufrag right now.
Oh, for sure.
He is what's building them up and letting them run loose. But the big problem is, it's 15-14 Ufrag. This is it for them.
Well, look at the buy for Endpoint as well. There's still no AWP, so Dom's AWPing now as well. Adam's like, you know what, mate, you're playing Unreal. Have this gun, have everything.
Just take it. Just take my home. Take everything I've got. Make it work. Turn it into something great again. Well, let's see if that can really ring on true, as it already is going to be Adam peeking over towards the lip on that drop and spamming away with this Tech 9. Nets himself the frag on towards Ezio. So the perfect way to start this one for Ufrag. They get themselves a man advantage.
Yes, they do, but 1 minute 15 on the clock. And low-ish HP on Hype, so 35 HP for him, but this is the thing, Jesp now playing outside drop. He was playing tree before, but will he catch his players off guard? He can get one here, potentially the second. Hype is low HP, and the flash comes up, he sprays him down while flashed. 2 frags for Jesp.
Keeping this one nice and competitive. Ufrag not quite able to do anything with that initial advantage, and actually dwindled right down now to a bit more of a disadvantageous spot, as Adam is going to keep up that almost similar level of aggression. Nothing too crazy just yet. It comes down to how the rest of the team want to play off of him here in this spot, because if they can do something well, get that pick on towards Jess, potentially shut down this crossfire, then things could be great. But look at Luzza. He's looking to really just get this nail, slam it into the coffin, and it's going to be 2 quick frags. Polly and Dom. Luzza going to total up with a quick 3k on towards Adam. Great stuff coming out from him, and well, that is that. It's going to be our first map coming to an end, 16-14.
Yep.
We'll of course keep the scoreline, and well, let's recap. How do we get there?
A very long pause.
Yeah, the pause, I gotta say, it felt like it played a big part in it. It's one part of me,
Well, I
it's
still think
disappointing it, but momentum.
I
we
actually
talked
think
about
that
it in
that
the kind of the
pause
throw through.
played in the favor of UFrag, because
Okay.
you saw what happened. Endpoint won the pistol. They won the following, was it pistol? Next 2 rounds, obviously UFrag. Before the pause, they went for the full buy. After the pause, they didn't go for the buy. Quite interesting there. But anyway, 16-14, and as I just said before, I believe that pause went in the favor of UFrag. The momentum from Endpoint was just put to a standstill. They had the momentum. It was fresh. 8-9. Yes, they won that round. They won the gun round afterwards. The few gun rounds, they won 6 in a row, didn't they?
Yeah, it was 6 in a row.
So
It was
even though
exactly what
initially
they wanted.
Endpoint, they had a momentum, once UFrag took control of the Endpoint economy, but you got to think as well, those final 2 rounds, they're playing versus very weak buys.
Yeah, I felt like in the final 2 rounds as well, it really could have went any direction, right?
14-14. It was such a weird UFrag we saw, wasn't it? It was just so messy.
It didn't really feel like there was a clear game plan, which
Yeah,
is
the difference between 13-14, 12-14, and then 14-14, there
Well-
was the pressure just upped itself, and maybe it took control of the players there. But we saw weird one-on-one engagements, players just going down where they shouldn't have, and we saw Dom was in that situation. It was like, what, a 1 versus 3, takes the one player, sprays on another one, but Jesp peeked out, took him down. But Mirage, let's go into this one. Let's dive into this second map. And now, previously, Cobblestone, UFrag's pick, and now we'll be looking at Endpoint's pick.
I think for Mirage right now, this does give Endpoint that strong stance to go and take that, almost not quite smooth. I think smooth would be a pretty horrendous way to describe it, but a contested 2-0. That's what they're playing towards. And
They
in
need
terms
the
of-
2-0 if they want any chance in this league. Let's put it like that.
It's a blunt way of putting it, but
Yeah.
it's the fair way of putting it. Of course, UFrag's comparison, I was, much more, pleased with what we saw from them.
Oh, very massive difference.
Comparison to last week, for example, we said we were going to brush last week aside, and we have done that to a pretty, successful fashion. But Mirage was one that I feel like is a little bit harder to kind of just dodge away from.
It's not just that, but it's also the fact that, yes, both these teams are new. So, as I just said, both these teams are new. Endpoint, you could argue they're the more, I don't want to say individually skilled players, obviously Dom playing unbelievably there, but you got to think as well, will he be that hot leading into the next game? I mean, 35 or so frags in one game and still loses 16-14, that's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's got to certainly be a thought that almost sits in the back of your mind, and that actually leads me to a question for you, because
Go for it.
you've played, there's a lot of potential within you as a player. You've played in a lot of different teams. You've not necessarily had the hottest of results, but hey,
Jesus Christ.
the big question I have for you is that as a player, when you're playing a kind of an online level, is that kind of seed in the back of your mind one that actually comes to affect you, comes to haunt you in terms of, okay, I just went huge in that map, we still could. It's a big question, but it's one that I feel like I kind of want to see your thoughts on.
I spoke to Dom before the game. He spent an hour of aim practice before this game. He did 1,300 aimbot kills. Following that, 40 or so minutes of DM, and it definitely showed. He was very, very, very crisp in this game. And the problem is, yes, you can DM, and straight out of that DM, you're going to the server and you play sick, right? But as soon as you cool off a little bit, yes, this is online, but for Dom, this is such an important series. This is,
This is his proving ground.
yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Yes, it's an online game. Yes, that might come into the back of your head. Maybe play, Endpoint especially, they might play this little bit, not quite as serious as they would do if this was a LAN match, obviously. But for Dom, playing absolutely phenomenally, this is, as you just mentioned before, his proving ground. If he can have another impactful game like he just did there, 25 kills or more, important frags, and opening up the map for him, we could be seeing great things for him. But anyway, moving on to this round, the kit and smoke for Adam. He will be going towards mid, actually playing mid. That's interesting, having the mid player play the kit. Actually having the rotator with the kit is pretty standard, but quite unique on Mirage, obviously, if players face towards you, not having the armor. And instead the kit isn't really the best, but Ezio watching for this early aggression.
Great positioning from Ezio, and it will net him that early frag on towards Hype. So the perfect way for this T side to open the show. But sometimes it's not always about opening, it's whether you can actually put on a solid mid-round performance. It's going to be a swift push, but one that, well, is going to be met with just another to add to the tally. Cray, he was in a solid spot towards stairs, but gets absolutely nothing done, and this alone puts them in just such a difficult one. Is Emi going to push him out, finds the headshot on towards Adam, still shoulder at that, but it's just so much damage, and UFrag, where's the response right now from them? They've got 2 left remaining, they're stuck in a box, and it's a box that, well, the walls, they're collapsing on them.
The kit is on the site, but unfortunately for them, I don't think these CT players are going to make it to the to the beer bomb site, to put it bluntly. All these players playing so close to them, and obviously they just spotted both the players in kitchen, so you see that Jesper as well running towards them. And now Pommy and Dom, in this situation, you just need to play for money. Try and get, $600, try and get 2 frags for yourself and not play for that round win. But Endpoint already winning this first round is so important, because we've got to think about it. They just won the last map, 16-14. And now they've won the pistol. The momentum carries on between games, and There was no pause, remember? Well, there was a very long pause before, but between maps, there was no break. Now we're straight into it.
Of course, a lot of pressure is going to be mounting on that Euphrax side, but it's something that it does have to be put on hold. We can't expect to see too huge of a response from them. It's almost this kind of this waiting period, this lull now, where we sit down tight and see what they can do. Of course, on the flip side, Endpoint, this is them kind of going out for a walk and saying, "Oh, guys, you know, they've actually not bought anything. Let's make some sweet money." And Max and Imi, in that regard, the two to really keep an eye on. Jess, of course, to be that almost tertiary player with that extra UMP. So for Endpoint, this is the kind of the perfect de facto standard way to kick this off. If they can keep it clean, even better.
The thing as well is, when you think of standout players on Ufrag, what are the names you think of?
I'm actually going to say Pommy and Hype. But those two
Hype.
players, I think that Pommy is...
Did we say Hype's name once last game?
Yeah, that's actually a really solid point. I don't think I did actually even once.
Unfortunately, for Hype there, not having the best impact on the Cobblestone gaming. He's such a phenomenal player, very aggressive player. Maybe Dom and Pommy and Co taking his role, I'm not too sure, but that's 2 frags for Cray. Not really too important. If he's it's a Mac 10, I mean, you're not really going to get much out of that, are you, to the next round, but you can get 1 kill here. He made himself, what, 1.2k. So, Cray just trying to take out one of these guns, and Ezra not looking his way. Was spraying? No, will not spray him down. Anyway, Cray with 2 frags. That's really the only shining light here for Ufrag, and 2-0, and another double save, full USP. So Adam's not playing around here. He wants that AWP. He wants the double Molotovs, 5 mollies. He wants all the nades. Could see a double AWP setup.
A little bit more that we want to see.
We could see 2 AWPs though. I mean, Hype can AWP be short, AWP be apps and whatnot. Have Adam play the AWP towards mid, and maybe have Hype play quite aggressive as well. When you play the double AWP setup, you don't want to be playing retakes on the CT side. You want to go get those first picks. And when we last saw Mirage Endpoint, I believe they lost it to FM. They lost it to FM, CEX, and Kaz. Did they play versus Kaz? They definitely lost it to CEX.
I believe they did play with Kaz as well.
But I want to see Lazar playing far more aggressive with his AWP in mid. I want to be seeing Adam as well on the CT side, try and get those first picks as Ufrag. We've seen them when they play, they're really good at winning 4 versus 5s. The problem is when the lead goes in favor of Endpoint, that's when we see them struggle. And 1 frag, only 1 frag coming out so far, 2 frags. But 3 versus 2, USP and a P250. Max as well, his USP in his hand, just trying to see if he can get that swift headshot onto Dom. But so far, Dom's been playing phenomenal in this series, and I really hope he keeps up this going.
Yeah, if he can keep this one going and kind of really transition this into the second map, then I am excited to see what he can bring to the table. But for me as well, I do want to see just a little bit more from Cray, because Cray is a player who...
I think he played well last game.
Yeah, he played well. If he can, again, also bring that over, which so far I don't want to kind of read in anything to these past couple of rounds, but he has been at least positioning himself acutely. So if he can do well on this kind of this first real pivotal gun round for Ufrag, then I do think there's a serious chance for them to put up a solid fight on
A topic of discussion as well, we'll get into it later after this round, is in the meta right now, is it that important to have a solid lurk? Someone that always lurks every single round, but we can touch on that point later, the role that Cray plays, but it's going to be the fast ramp contact play, and Tommy's going to get caught off guard, going towards CT, and as with the first, Adam now, he needs to react and get these frags as they push onto the side.
Talk about Cray, well, he's going to try and hold the cross, but he's going to be completely smoked out of this one. Nowhere to run, just tries to hold off the angle. Another flash again, just to continually blind him. In this round, it's fluctuating, but only in one direction. A build-up that leaves us situated towards, albeit, yes, a contested A site, but Ufrag, what's their entry point right now? There are smokes aplenty, and when they begin to fade, Jesky's there, ready and waiting just to do so much damage, and Adam, he's going to miss the most important shot of that one. Doesn't quite able to really connect even a single, and that alone pretty much shields the deal, because CT, that's going to be an avenue of attack that's quickly traded on Cray over towards jungle. Tries to take almost a bit of a leap of faith, but it leads, again, nowhere on Endpoint.
This is what Endpoint was lacking, an aggressive rifler. Yes, Aaron played phenomenal, but he was the stand-in. Jess, but looking at this, I mean, yes, Ufrag, maybe not the tier 1, like top 2 or so teams in the UK, but Jesp is what you want to move forward with in terms of his aggression. Maybe he's not the player they pick up, but they need a player like Jesp that will play aggressive, get the opening frags, and even if he dies, get the trades. I mean, so many of these players on the Endpoint side are so passive, you need a player to start and open up the rounds. Ooh, that's a nice shot from Max there.
Keeping it nice and crisp. Really crazy. I don't think there's too much merit to taking this out. Of course, it is just pistols and such, and I guess one kind of merit for Endpoint is keeping it clean. So 5 rifles to be flourishing with in the 6th. And well, now my eye is drawn back to Ufrag, and it's for very, very obvious reasons. They can bring something back to the board, and it is most importantly going to be that double orb setup.
Ooh, as I mentioned before, they do like to play double AWP, and it's going to be on Dom. Yes, Dom will be playing the AWP, and where will Dom take it? That is the question. He's running towards B, so we could be seeing the B apps push. Maybe B short. I don't know how I feel about having 2 AWPs in mid. I'd rather see... as long as one of these AWPs play aggressive, I'm happy. Actually, Adam is playing CT, so that does
Look at
change.
Jess right now. He's got himself in such a good position, nearly allowing himself to get that opening frag. But Adam, well, within just a nick of time, rotates back through CT, peaks the angle, and will be able to catch him off guard. So timing proving to be a pivotal factor, but nonetheless an opening pick for the UFrag side. Now, your words exactly were based around the idea that UFrag, once they get that opening pick, things are so pretty for them, and so far so good, albeit they will lose one in the process, but it still is going to be the trading game as now Hype himself. And also in hand is going to throw on out. He's going to be up against an onslaught at this point as they push him out. They jump right on past him, but Ezio still able to weave around and find that.
Did they know he's here, though?
Position of Craig is going to be held, and Matt's surely going to be checking this one. And that information alone, well, they see information is power.
That's the shots I wanted to see from Adam in the previous match. Obviously, he played well in the previous game, but I want to see those light sprays coming out from him. And Ezio does spray down Pommy from that long-range duel, and now Adam in the 1 versus 2 has no kit. Has the 3 kit, so he's going to have to ace this if they want any chance at winning this round. And all the utility now exposed and gone for the T side, and Adam somehow needs to find 2 1-on-1s, but Endpoint, they're playing this smart. They're holding each other's angles. They're covering for themselves. Max was spread on Adam. Not expecting to play there towards get right, but what I wanted to point out is, once the T's have the B-bomb site, you saw what happened. They did not go for the plant straight away. Instead, they cleared the site, and Cray, playing towards Rattlesnake, outside kitchen door, did not get the chance to take down the bomb carrier, and instead, Endpoint wait till they find out where all the CTs are playing, then plant the bomb, get the kill on to Cray, have the site 2 versus 3. They play it smart, cover themselves, and they win the round.
I always want to take almost an elementary approach to this right now, because for UFrag it feels like the beginning of the rounds are really their strong suit, and the endings are also where they can do quite well.
You can say that's experience though. I mean, you got to look at these players as well. Imi, Ezio, and whatnot, very clutch players, and I was about to comment that Dom could be seeing something here, but unfortunately for him, he's got a CZ and that long range angle. Not really be going too well for him, but Imi with the op is holding the line, and doesn't quite get that shot, but yes, we'll take down Dom, but these players are on pistols as well. Adam did pick up the rifle, but he won't be able to save it, and we're going to be seeing the buy coming out for UFrag into the next round as they have full saved. So Endpoint 7-0. I mentioned before that, I mentioned in a previous broadcast, I think it was week 2 or so, that Mirage is about individually skilled players on the T side. Take control of mid, win the duels that way, and we've seen what happened so far. Feels like, I mean, yes, UFrag did get the first early frags, but somehow they crumble in the, not the mid round, but the late
really
round.
What I want to kind of excel on. If you were to take a kind of a lens and be polite to this matchup, it's that middle round portion that is just causing UFrag to be in just such a dire point right now.
That's experience though, isn't it? Once when you're in the 3 versus 3, that's when communication, get back to that point in a second, as Cray out through the boxes, does spread on Jess. Can Ezio get the swift reply? Yes, he can. Not quite Cray, but does get them Pommy and Laza now waiting for that aggression from Adam. Does take him down towards jungle. 2 versus 4.
I can't help but feel like Endpoint have read UFrag like a book in this situation, waiting for the aggression, setting themselves up just to hold the angles they know are almost certainly going to get peaked, and it just rewards them with an early Christmas at this point as UFrag. They try and fly in for, albeit a fairly well thought out retake, but even then, still 2v4, the low HP on Max and Ezio certainly does play into things, but that information, it's going to be a tough one to garner as Dom is already going to be burning away that Molotov. The push is going to be coming in from Nuzzer, and well, he's looking to really seal the deal with the tech dying, and he's going to do it with fairly minimal effort as the headshot will be connected. And I'm looking at this right now, and this is a huge point now, because we stress quite a lot how we get into this. Yeah. And we've really kind of almost, we're beating a bit of a dead horse in the fact that UFrag are struggling.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's go towards a bit more of an originality-based aspect. When does it get too far? When did Endpoint just have the ability just to close it out, and no matter what happens, this is going to be just amazing for them?
Well, CT side on any map, once the T's have control of your economy, it does get quite dire, and as we've seen here, UFrag, they're on the low buy, but Endpoint, they're probably be expecting this as they have won 8 in a row. So even though UFrag bought in the last round, they will probably be expecting the rifles and so forth coming up. And Dom, we saw him go 35 kills in regular time, and now he's currently sitting at 0 for 7. So on 0 for 8, I'm not too sure there. But unfortunate scenes for him. Hyped out, getting aggressive. Can they find the first pick and work off of it?
Change of pace is going to go aggressive.
Don't overface.
This is going to keep on going for it, but is he eventually going to be able to get away nicely back to Dom? It's going to be over. Jess to punish Pommy. And bit by bit, we find ourselves back at an even spot.
Basic rule of CS is when you push one side of the map, play passive towards the other side. Adam pushes mid. You have He was hype as well, jumping on top of Van. They're playing quite aggressive, and unfortunately for Dom, why is Dom in mid of the AWP and not Adam? This is so strange. Maybe Dom's, I don't want to say tilted because my goodness, I got a lot of grief for that. But anyway, don't want to say he's tilted, but maybe instead he's like, I need to be where the action is. Give me an AWP, I'll find frags. Once I get the confidence frags, my aim's warmed up, I'll go from there. But we were talking before about these players in the mid round and why they crumble. When it's a 5v5, it's far more aim dependent, far more. Take my words back, as Ezio does get traded out, and it's going to be Jespo, does find the frag onto Adam, and it's hype in the 1 versus 3. No kit.
As much as there was a level of interaction, it still is that same sort of point beginning to get sung on.
It's a 4 versus 3, and it's winnable, but they go down 1 by 1. I mean, you see the angles they take, it's not very smart CS they're playing, and instead they walk into Endpoint's grasp, and they die 1 versus 1, but hype on the 1 versus 2. Has the kit now.
Does himself the kit, but this double ramp setup, this should be a crossfire that Endpoint can just hold, and Laza, the ADAP is going to make, well, just almost a bit of a quick, simple flick at that to catch up hype, and this is UFrag again just being ground out of their economy. Endpoint, they have a very firm grasp right now on towards UFrag, and I actually kind of want to drill into another point now, which is UFrag. We've excelled that they can't get anything going on the CT side. We've talked about their issues in the mid portion of the round. Is there anything left for them to explore? We saw Adam try and go aggressive through mid. But Endpoint seems so comfortable in trading things back.
Well, they are losing their clutch round situations, the 3 versus 3s and so forth, so potentially early CT aggression, find one pick and then fall back and don't give it away and try to play the trade game off that. Allow the Ts to come to site and win the retakes with the man advantage. 1 kit, but such a big lack of utility. And now Pommy spraying down Jess. Jess has been palace so many rounds now. Unfortunately for him, we'll get caught out by Pommy. Yes, it's not aggression, but still the 1-man lead now for UFrag. Can they work off of this?
Last time was a bit more of a difficult affair, but this is a positive stride. Let's step forward and see what they can do. As unfortunately Maxwell, he takes a step of his own, a leaf out of a fresh Facebook, and it's one that again leads to Hype's ever so unfortunate death, pinning us back to a 4v4. And my only hope is what can be done as Adam faces from short, gets punished by Imi, and they're looking dire, but Cray going to find that trade. So back to a 3v3 now. We've seen these 3v3 clutches. These are what we've been looking towards, and it has been these losses that have been uncomfortable as the bomb is going to be ticking on away. And this angle being held from Laza is going to be perfect, providing he lands the initial shot, which isn't quite going to connect as now Max looking towards short, trying to net that information on towards Pommy, and really it's all about just throwing it out, hoping for the best, but Max, he swivels low towards his right side, holds the angle, nets himself the headshot, looking for a second on towards Pommy, and Max, he's just going to be doing so much for his team, leaving Cray in a 1v2 and one that, well, he's going to be throwing on those boots, sprinting towards A, and, well, you said it yourself, so you just can't quite win.
Not really too much to comment there. The same thing keeps happening. Yes, if I get the first kill, but it's given away instantly on the other portion of the map. A comment I made earlier was the idea of lurking, and is it, you know, in the current meta of CSGO, is it that important? Do you want to have the lurk every single round? And we see Imi lurking in mid, gets the kill on the rotation, but if he died there, that would have made it, you know, one less player onto that B-bomb site and a much easier retake for the CTs. And we saw on, was it Counterpoints or something similar to that? God, I always get my words interrupted, but Laza finds the first pick, takes down Adam. So, we see documented right now in all these, you know, interviews and whatnot that the aggression, not the aggression, so the lurking. Oh my goodness.
Aggression.
You know what, I'll wait till the round's over, just talk. Yeah, I'll wait till the round's over.
Just let it happen, because unfortunately at this point...
It's 10-0 at this point. There isn't really too much to comment on going on inside the game. Obviously, UFrag playing much better this week, but fortunately for them, Endpoint, they are on the ball, and I want to talk, but a frag will come in, like this one. Actually, the trade comes in and Hype, not Hype, yeah, it was Hype, sorry. Does get that kill. My goodness, I'm crumbling.
They might be getting tilted. I feel like at this point, reflect on towards you.
Sure.
Just take a deep breath, breathe for a second, and that's something that I actually want to echo towards UFrag. And this is another question for you. Now, we talked about this at length last week. Where's the pause?
Yeah, I mean, I think UFrag are quite happy with how they played in the first map, and they could be thinking, you know what, gentlemen, yes, we got 2-0'd, but...
Yeah, but it's not over until it's over.
You're far too optimistic.
I just think that right now, no matter what's happening, if you just, you know, get to a point where you're like, you know, you're saying that they're basically done, they're happy with their first performance, and now they're just going to keep on throwing things to the wall and hope something sticks, I feel like it's almost kind of an irresponsible way to approach things. Personally, and I'm not going to claim to be anything, I'm not you know, a pro player or anything of the like, but really? I look at this and go, surely there is that, you know, ability just to take a pause, take even a breather, even if you're not going to talk about something.
You're right,
that mental reset is already, we are going to see some aggression. It's going to be that 1-for-1 Adam and Max Dom.
Don't get 16-0, is what's going through the head right now. Dom, what are you doing? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Plunges to the flames and goes down from connector, but Pommy trying to get these swift flicks from that Scout, but unfortunately for him, will not tag any of those players, and Laz has an AWP much more effective than a Scout.
There's actually a really nice point for UFrag to try and make this one work, because you have to look towards the B side. Right now, they haven't actually been able to withdraw from the site, which is what they've been winning these rounds with, this ability just to step on back. So this does set things up. Pommy lands up the first, goes for the no-scope, lands it on towards the head of Jeff, and
They've won it!
seems to be dwindling. They go ahead and win it. They shut down that 16-0 dream. And there you have it, and I've got to say, I feel like it comes down to the fact that at endpoint, they're so good when they can withdraw from the
This
site.
is when we get dreaming. Can they get 11-4, win the pistol, make it 11-7? Can they go from there?
This is what I'm saying. It's never over until it's over.
That is 6 rounds of winning. That, to be fair, that is 6 rounds they have to win. 3 gun rounds and a pistol. So that is very hard to do, but if they want any chance of winning this, I believe this needs to be an 11-4. Get the pistol, work from that, 11-7, try and pull it back somehow that way. I mean, once they are on their T side, I mean, we saw before in the last map, they did manage to pull it back from a, what, 7-round deficit or even more.
It's a tough one. I think when you look back to the way the last fight that unfolded, as much as they were able to claw back 5 or 6, I believe, it's you look towards them and go, surely it's just going to go. They just seal the deal. Maybe even this round is going to be they were going to enable that initial pick. Dom will respond though with the frag on towards Ezio, so everything is nice and contested. But Mac towards short gets the free pick on towards Dom as he tries to hold things down. Adam, just before the smoke will bloom into a fair, enables him to clutch the life off Lazar.
He must have heard that, surely.
Mac should have a really solid idea of exactly what is going to be going on. Adam just
Why?
peeks.
It's a 3 versus 3. Then again, they didn't really have the best utility, so it would have been a hard retake anyway. But Pommy fighting Imi there in the B-apps, but unfortunately for him, he will not take him down. The 2 versus 2 kits, but no utility, so they're going to have to go into the raw aim. This comes down to the skill of these players left on UFrag. Can they claw it back and make it 2 of them?
Sure, at this point. I didn't
Yeah,
have
right.
faith last week.
Don't want to interrupt you, but let's talk. Right, lurking position, as I was mentioned before. So, a lot of people have been talking about this right now, counterpoints from Thorin and whatnot, saying, is the lurk role effective in the current meta? Hiko spoke about it on stream as well, saying that now he's opted to not lurk every single round because it telegraphs so much. I mean, we saw what happened on Cobblestone previous weeks. It wasn't happening that much in the previous game, but Max was lurking a little bit as well. But they were around and speaking to players as well that were playing versus Endpoint. They were thinking, oh, Imi's dead A, they're going B. What do you think?
I feel like when it's talks about fluctuating, there are times when you should be going for something, there are times when you should be backing up and withdrawing and just being with your team, especially when you are playing from just such a behind spot.
Got to think as well, get right as well, playing more of that entry role, and instead of lurking all the time, I mean, yes, once he gets that first kill onto the bomb site, he doesn't go full aggression. I mean, yes, still plays passive, but anyway, it's going to be 30-1. UFrag got reset in the past round, and Laz going for that 1G. No, no survivors. Obviously, the teammate Molly.
The bleak thing now is,
Yeah.
we have to highlight this.
It's not 60-0.
It's not 60-0, but it's 13-1, and UFrag, what they can buy in this round is...
I think the thing is, though, I think UFrag is still happy with this. Yes, they got completely owned and wrecked and whatnot on Mirage, but it's Endpoint picking on their pick. They played well. Dom had a foot. Well, he's a. Oh, that's a nice flick from Lazar there. But anyway, what do you think would have happened on Cobblestone if Dom didn't have such a incredible performance?
It certainly does raise some questions. For now, we can only just roll with the punches and well, let what happen.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Pommy.
Take fall. Pommy is going to be inside of the corner of the Molotov, trying to land at his feet, but maybe just gets a little too close to the smoke. But even then, Pommy, he just pushes and...
Yeah, this
well,
yeah, I think at this point it is really too serious. We see that Pommy running through his smoke with the scout. 14-1, and yeah.
A moment of silence, I think, is this point for me. I
It's
think
not quite Remembrance Day just yet, but 1-14 anyway. UFrag, they played so well in the first map, and I think the fire has dwindled down, and they're a bit burnt out. Dom 3 for 14, a stark contrast from the first map, and you see what happens once they don't have that formidable force at the front of their attack. Dom not finding all the frags, but then again, as I keep saying, UFrag are potentially going to be happy with this performance. Anyway, even though they lost 16-14, this isn't their map pick. They weren't expecting to, completely dominate Endpoint. And this pistol, oh, headshots galore. Laz there, 2-3 crisp headshots. That's such nice play from him. Takes down 2 of those players, and we're looking at 16-1. Oh, 15-1. Don't want to, end it too early.
Yeah, I don't want to be a bit premature about things.
Yeah.
But at the same point, that's the pissed around, and that's one that we're
See
not
on the
gonna be
Plays
forgetting for a
TV as
little
Dom
while.
types.
Well, one thing that Cameron mentioned, we saw that really sweet recap video at the start of the night.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that I have a feeling may just find its way into that video.
Shout out to Lazar CS. Anyway, Endpoint, much different showing as well from them. Obviously, we keep talking about how different UFrag are playing, but it feels like Endpoint, they've woken up on their map pick, and it's 15-1. Going into the final round, Tech9s, Deagle. Not really too much to say, really.
Yeah, it feels like we are beating a bit of a dead horse. We've ran around the
Very
topics
dead horse.
a fair few times, and well, it's going to almost be a bit of a bleeding edge round. As seems to be Frank getting ready to crawl into their own graves. Just 2 left standing.
It's already called GG as well.
GG's beginning to be exchanged. Dom will at least find the headshot on towards Dimmy, so looking to at least think he's a little more competitive, but in the same regard, Lazar even flashed. More than happy to find the frag on towards Hype, leaving just Dom now in a spot. And one that is, well, it's workable, but well, it's a
Do you know a player that I'm thinking is similar to Dom?
Okay.
Apex.
I think that's... I can see what correlation...
Go on, tell me why I'm wrong.
But in the same regard, I'm just not quite sure, because it feels to me that he's a little bit more, slower, but at the same time more than happy to try and, at times, then just kind of pop around a corner and just
Yeah.
spurt of energy.
The reason...
Not just consistent.
It's not just that consistent, that's the word I was looking for. Apex, obviously, is a phenomenal entry fragger, but it's not just that, it's the fact that one map he got 35, the next map he doesn't quite have the same performance. And anyway, it's great showing from Dom. Nevertheless, they did lose 16-1 this map. Great showing from Ufrag and a great showing from Endpoint. I mean, first map, 16-14, very, very different showing to what we saw on the previous week from Ufrag. Endpoint, the same goes for them. You see what they are now with an aggressive rifler. They've added aggression to their CT side and their T side, and it plays dividends for them.
Well, really, there's not really too much left to say. We've explored so many options at this point.
Oh yeah, there's lots of talking.
I
in
actually kind
the
of
16.
want to draw back to your point about Apex, right? Because
Go
I
for
feel
it.
like we do have an opportunity to at least talk this one through, make this
Mhm.
correlation between
Mhm.
players. Because I think with UKCS, something that people really undervalue is that making these comparisons and looking at these specific players and kind of making those correlations, it gives players a point to say, okay, well, I'm going to go look at the way he plays,
Very
look at
true.
the positions that are played, and actually try and learn something, right? Because I feel like I'm not saying this is particular to Dom or anything, but I'm saying in a general encompassing aspect, people in UKCS, they can be a bit hesitant to learn from others.
The problem is, if you're Ufrag right now and your star player who's just joined your roster is Dom, and he's, I wouldn't say, he's obviously a consistent player. I mean, obviously everyone has bad games, I can't say that, but to go from being 35 frags in in one regular time, and then the next map not really showing up too well, it's not really you're not really putting yourself in a position to win consistently, especially at LAN when you're playing so many games at once. And not just that as well, you got to think, you want a player like Dom to be your third or second best player in your team. You want a consistent fragger. Trying to think of a comparison.
Big ask.
Big ask, very big ask. I mean, Hype should be that player, but then again, people say that Hype can be quite
I
inconsistent.
feel like Hype is again the sort of player I look at and go, I see him at Atlanta. He's got these sudden spurts of energies where he's
Yep.
just shit amazing to watch, and he's just doing so much for his team. And then other maps, he's somewhat asleep. But I don't want to get too far into this one now because I think
Yeah.
we have explored our options.
Oh yeah, we've been
Ufrag-
this best of two has been a bit drawn out from that pause as
Yeah,
well.
I think that Ufrag, they have a lot of room to improve, but nonetheless, one thing that has to be garnered, much better from last week. And I
Both
think that's,
teams, both teams as well. I'm really happy
Yeah.
with how Jess played, especially on the CT side. The aggression we saw. Yes, he was dying at B plat, but at the same time, rounds that he was winning the duels, he was keeping the map control. We saw on that CT side, Mirage as well, just going for those early picks, winning those duels and netting himself. Oh, also Palace as well, T side, getting those opening picks. And Endpoint with aggression, that's what I want to see. And also Ufrag, picking up a more inexperienced player in Dom,
Ufrag.
but I said Ufrag.
It's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
taking the piss. Anyway, gentlemen, after that drawn-out pause, thank the Lords we had a good game, and we are going to be seeing you after this slight pause. No, it won't be half an hour. Hopefully it'll be a few minutes. FM versus generic team name.
Hi everyone. Two really weird things have happened this week. First, I signed this legally binding contract and got paid a load of money to advertise games deals. And then, literally, a couple of days after that, I managed to get NBA 2K17 for the low price of $34.99 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One at Game, saving £15. Ah, crazy days.
He's been just such a difficult angle, but they walk dead set into him, drops them all dead with a quick spray. Actually throw anything down, the smoke over towards MBK will actually pretty much deny any sort of Molotov, and picks on both sides of the board. But Lazar, the bomb is going to go down. It is a 2v2, but the quick aggression is coming in from the CD side. They're going to try and deny this one off of the aggression, but Lazar, with a perfect shot, brings it to a 1 versus 1. There was Rezu more than happy to respond, but he's still got to swing out with this M4. He's talking to the fuse. He's going to be sticking to him. The peak is going to be coming in. Lazar, he's swapped to an M4. The spray to come in. They make things work. The answer is going to be no, because the elevated angle is going to shut things down smoother. He catches off the jumping shot.
Especially because Aaron's just netting that frag. It's good the 1 versus 1. He will get the kill, but the Molotov will mean the round win for Endpoint. Actually, will it? 5 HP!
He gets away with it just by calculating the amount of damage he's going to take. Almost a bit of luck, or perhaps even knowledge. This is going to be difficult, but Hype and Adam, they will combine 2 frags to be collected. Robin will at least pick up 1 in return, shutting down the AWP. But even with that said, it's a 2v3. They still have themselves in such a tough predicament. Still workable, especially if the solo peak comes in.
Oh, you need to be winning that. You need to be winning that trade if you're Croy. And now Dom, 19 HP, has the flash, but will get sprayed down by
hugely unpredictable, so 16-5, 16-6 is kind of where I'm leaning towards right now. But they are straight into this one. It's already going to be some very quick aggression, and Robin, he is just going to be dropping them dead. Back-to-back headshots, ladies and gentlemen, is what we will see. 4 quick frags for him. He is playing for his 5th. Jenko going to steal it out of his hands.
They don't care. This is the thing. They have no respect for you. The A site will be FM's, but instead he finds the first, sprays down another one, sprays down 3. Can they get any more?
You could almost say sitting ducks.
They're playing very passive. This is the point when they play passive. The flash comes out from Ozzy, gets 1, gets 3.
Sheer manhouse trying to do the damage. We talked about that pistol. It finds the first crackling headshot, but Aaron's up. 20 seconds, that is going to be the time to really keep an eye on this point. Aaron, he's doing so much work with this rifle, single-handedly annihilating the side of Cavs. And we talked about where he'd save it. Looks like he's just going for the damage wall. Oh yeah, the more damage-based route. We'll find some of these 1 frag, but he's actually giving them a really good run for their running at this point. If he finds himself that early shot on towards the cranium of Ezo, this could actually happen right now. They will be peeking ever so comfortably around, but Jacob, he makes it work. He thought it was impossible.
As well. And now the pistol run coming out, 5 players outrun.
So they're going to be tapping away, trying to go back to the old faithful side. And then, is it going to lead to anything? The answer is going to be a bit very surgical in the way he's approaching this. He's going to find himself a very nice 1 tap a second on towards Emmy.
They're underpassing now, they're going to have to run into
stairs, but the concern is going to be them losing the AWP, but Dreamer too quick on the trick.
Park, sorry. Anyway, Zio the shotgun, he's so known for his Mag 7. He's just like
trying to achieve. That free gift is just totaling up so much now. Theo just going to be doing a lot of work through mid doors, making it nice and easy, just slicing through.
He does love the easy ones.
Yeah, right now he's just feet up, love and life, making it happen. Now is the GTM, they got themselves an opportunity and a motivating factor much quicker.
This is smart as well. The early pick and flat there as well.
Now looking to come out towards platform, and albeit Snaky will fall, Isaac next to follow, but Trouble, he's now going to be live with the Saber.
The 1 versus 2, the flashes fail, just quite get there because look at the front, not the cross there, takes down 1, gets traded.
The trades, they are still, yet again, the crucial factor of Tickles. He's just going to be given so many angles, so many facets to swivel on around, go for these repeats.
Hello, gentlemen. Second best of 2 of the first night of the week 4 of UK Masters. I'm Snods, this is Flakes, and we're going to be your casters for the second game, and the first game obviously before, so hopefully you enjoyed us in the first one.
Well, we're keeping it casual, which is what I like, right? We don't want to take this one as if it's, this is no major grand finale. What this is the online build-up, right? Because
yes,
what are these guys aiming to be? Like, we can...
At the LAN.
We're aiming to get to the LAN right now.
And
As much as we
playoffs,
want to
obviously.
kind of follow the whole, they want to become masters of the UK, that's a little ahead of us. We've got to get to the playoffs in order to do that. And I think, a huge point to discussing that, and something that we touched on a little bit indirectly in the last series, was that a win is actually incredibly important. Now, what I mean by a win is not just winning a map, but actually winning a series.
Yep,
winning those
for the
2
points.
BO1s, getting those points.
It's
Because
3
those
points,
right
isn't it,
now-
if you win, and then
Yeah.
1 if you tie, so.
And if you actually look at the kind of the tables right now, a lot of teams don't actually have that wins. We're kind of looking at a lot of these kind of drawing points, making things very, very close. So if we see a team fly on the board with a quick win, actually puts them seriously in the running.
So, I mean, one thing you can mention straight away, when you talk about wins and tables and leagues and whatnot, and who's at the top and who's at the bottom, I don't want to say GTN are the worst team here, but definitely the most inexperienced in
I'd say they're
terms
the
of...
huge, very clear underdogs.
Yes, very, very, very clear underdogs here. Obviously, FME Sports, I believe they're currently first. Not really too sure. It's going to be them, CEX, or potentially even ZenX. But
Updated tables, they're so 2014.
yeah, we'll get them tomorrow, hopefully. But anyway, long story short, FME Sports, obviously, very, very formidable team, and potentially the best team currently in the league. I mean, Fish 123, they've got a very juicy lineup that might come out tomorrow, but enough about that. So, Knife goes in favour of FME Sports. Potentially we're looking at them going on their CT side and starting from there. And, Neil Zinho, Pulse, or Jenko, that's the question. Who's going to be AWPing today?
I feel like this is back, almost the throwback to Halloween. Just put your hand in the bucket, have a bit of a lucky dip, and
Yes.
See what gets brought to the table. Because these guys, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it feels incredibly unpredictable in terms of who's going to win. They
Well,
change it mid-game.
It's not just that, but you could draw it back to Cold Zero and Fallen in the sense of Cold Zero being the more aggressive, T AWPer, Jenko being that player, and then Neil Zinho, the IGL, more of the passive AWPer. But anyway, going to be 5 players for GTN side, and no early aggression coming out from the CT side. And actually, it's a good read for GTN.
Yeah, this is them looking to get a whole lot of pent-up aggression on towards this side. It is going to be a bit of a tapping effect coming from Neil, but that's going to get absolutely nothing done. He has the information to work with. That's a given. The push is going to be coming in towards CT, and he will find one for his troubles. But even then, GTN, they have this one set up in a perfect scenario, but FM, they're not going to let this one go or looking to put up one hell of a fight. It is going to be a bit of a CT repeat going on backwards and forwards. Things will swing, but it is going to leave some one-taps to be a bit of a huge talking point as Robin now pushing in towards CT. Snaky leaves it down to a 1v1. But it is going to be that victory to be claimed. FM can't get close, but the retake is where they triumph. And off the back of that individual 2K, does get them a pistol round.
So, in the previous map I mentioned that once you get aggressive one for the map, you play passive on the other. We saw 3 players from the FM side going towards the early B aggression, and once Neil Zinho playing passive at CT, which is so important, gives the call that's going to be the A take, the smokes come out. FM, they did not have the kit, so you saw what happened. They played the fast retake, they didn't allow the clock to dwindle, and the bomb timer to escalate too far out of control, and instead they take matters in their own hands, get the frags, get the headshots, and Jenko now mid. So we will be seeing him AWPing as he is, obviously going towards mid. Hopefully we do see him there as he got the scout right now.
It is going to be the case. He's kind of just hopping between jungle and window, looking to see kind of where GTN are going to draw his attention towards. And right now it's all a bit of a lure as the main target is actually the elusive side. That's where they're heading towards the Max 7. Actually jumping up and down, nets himself 2 quick frags, and then it will still be the response coming in from those pistols, and a Max 7 to be picked up, but most notably the bomb plant now. No matter what happens, wipe the floor. They're going to get completely just mopped over by FM. That's a given. The biggest point should I say, the bomb plant.
You might be questioning, why on earth is he planting inside the bomb? Reason being is the real aim of this round for GTN was to get the bomb down, and Neil Zinho, yes, he got 2 kills, but it was with the Mag 7, so he stacked up about, what, $18,000 straight in cash. And actually those 2 bomb plants, we could be seeing the AWP coming out for trouble if he opts for that glass cannon. And we've seen GTN play before, he's so familiar with the AWP, and they really do like to play from him. We constantly see them as well double save, just to allow trouble to have the AWP, but no, we will see 5 rifles come out, so probably going to be a set mid-take, try and get early control of connector, have the player alert connector, and try and get that A split and that A flank coming in there.
We talk about mid control, it is going to be trouble, man. Last week already building up a bit of a ruckus as he will find that opening headshot, but it is one that's going to quickly be traded back as the AWP pushes things back into second. But again, GTN, they are on top of things. They know exactly what is taking place, and they're more than happy to keep on clawing these frags. And you have to look at this one and go, not only is it a 4v3, but just take a glance at the map, take a look at Pulse. The ankle is going to be held. And it is that trade. But for this B side, they have a lot of room to maneuver. And most importantly, this B side, it is a target, though the passive setup, actually very smart from FM in the same regard.
So now AHP potentially going to be battling with Jenko, but instead the flash comes out and allows Isaac to cross, and now the bomb can be planted for short, and that's really important as they do have that player in Morehouse, but Jenko misses that shot, the 3 versus 3, kit onto Robin. Utility is decent on the CT side, but they're walking into the crossfire of Isaac and so forth, and Jenko misses another shot, but does stay alive.
Robin, he gets himself the jump, but just unable to hit anything. Now just really relying on Pulse and Jenko to combine to make this 2v2 work, as Pulse will find first one towards Isaac. It's going to be a no-scope to come in from Jenko, but how far are they willing to go? Trouble, he's still alive over towards short. He's building this one up and looking to keep on going at the final culmination of the way he's going about it. So the fuse is going to be stuck. Trouble to dart on through, but he hasn't quite got the hands to multitask that one. The come up jumps, which eventually leads to albeit a close, but a fuse nonetheless at FM Esports.
Smart play there as well. Once GTN killed both of those players towards B, you saw the reaction from Pulse. T's take control of B. Pulse pushes ramp, trying to retake some map control and gets information. Here's the player rotate from Palace, gets that frag and nets them the 4 versus 3. And then FM Esports, the thing is, yes, Jenko's whiffing, but he's playing aggressive and he's playing in a situation where he has so many opportunities to kill.
Towards mid is going to be pretty much playing his own game of bowling at this point. He's throwing out that ball and looking to find those pins, and what he's going to do it with pretty solid success, got to be said. Pulse to be a bit more of an aiding factor, but these attributes do lead to GTN down to dwindling force, and one that this AWP is Jenko just going to add to the tally. 3 in total for him. Snaky perched upon a ladder.
So in the previous round, obviously they did catch, I believe it was Stanley on B short of guard, trying to reenact that play, but unfortunately for them, they didn't quite get that kill, and Stanley stayed alive and took down Snaky there. It's going to be 4 on the board now for FM, and the buy does come out, and Trouble hit. Will he go for the AWP and no armor? I believe he will. Did save that money precisely, so yes. No utility for him, but he does have the AWP and no head armor. So leading into this round, will he play aggressive? Will he try and find those opening picks? And especially on a map like Mirage, I mean, we'll go for the B pick. So will he try and get that jump spot?
Actually, some sort of adaptation, but unfortunately not quite able to make it work. And the jump spot is going to really take place, but just that's going to be unable to really make things connect. So GTN, they get themselves a man advantage. Things work, but it's one that, well, it's quickly going to be grasped by FM Esports and pulled back to a much more workable spot for them, a 4v4, and one where I take a glance back at this map. FM, they've got a lockdown B site. The minute this push begins to take any sort of shape, it will be that initial pick. But in the same regard, this seems like they're very spread out. They haven't quite really decided where they want to head. Stop by checking his angles, and again, he's going to be caught off guard.
Calculated aggression coming from FM Esports. You see when they peek their angles, they do flash themselves, and Pulse wins that trade. Isaac really has to be winning that. Doesn't quite connect the spray, and Pulse lives with 15 HP, and now the T's are going to regroup and try head towards B and have this player that is in B actually needs to get an opening frag, but Stanley's on the lurk. He's going to catch his players off guard.
This could be absolutely beautiful. He finds the first, a swift one tap on towards the second, and ladies and gentlemen, you have yourselves a round done and dusted in a matter of seconds off of one individual decision just to make that push, get himself in that spot, and that spot alone, well, as we said, it seals the deal. Trouble. There's not too much he can do. Yes, there's 30 seconds on the clock, but he needs to be absolutely momentous in the way he approaches this if he wants to even have a chance. And, well, with this clock to keep on ticking, well, exits, perhaps the only thing on the cards after all.
I mean, if he does save this, no, their money is completely dwindled. But they have lost 5 in a row, so they will have the full max buy, 3.4k on each of these players. They might opt to go for the forces. A 5-0 deficit. They need to get rounds on the board quite fast, especially on their T side. And Trouble not really having much impact with the AWP. And I want to see him play towards mid. I want to see him go up short, peek towards connector. Try and duel Jenko. Yes, Jenko's a phenomenal AWPer player in general. But you need to be finding the openings for a team, especially when their team plays around their T side. They play so much around Trouble. They double save for him in previous games. Or they force.
Wow. Right now it's almost just a matter of waiting. Are they going to go for it? The buy.
Oh, that's the half buy. That's a good mid spawn though.
The half buy, a topic in itself. The mid spawn, also the flip side of that topic, and it is going to be a page to be half turned as Jenko himself up onto the elevated pedestal. Some quick frag, especially off the back of Pulse. Very well done, and it's going to net him the opening pick onto a Snakey. It's great stuff coming from him, but Jenko, if he just holds this and is patient, he can find himself yet another, and what a way to do just that, the headshot onto a Trouble. GTN, they have no idea what hits them. They're trying to recall back out to the base, they're trying to force the issue, just in kept mind, they can't get anything done. Robin, he's swirling around, he's a man just more than happy to keep the dance going as Pulse. Well, the man to find the last.
So, Trouble there, we saw him have the mid spawn, but he waits for the mid smoke, gives the call to his team that he wants top mid to be smoked, and you got to think their confidence might be lacking on the side of Trouble right there. Not opting to go for the duel with Jenko, and now left without too much money. And I mentioned before that GTN, they double saved to have Trouble on the AWP, and now he's stuck on a Tech 9. Not really what you want on the T side for GTN if you're a GTN fan watching right now. So, slow mid control coming out, but if they can get control of mid, work off that, try and get a few picks here and there, but Neil Xenia might try and force the issue if he gets aggressive, but does not to believe this might be a one-way as well to try and play it in his favor.
And it is just that Isaac tries to get the jump on him. There's going to be a shot in a misfound direction, and now my eye is drawn back towards mid because look at how close Trouble is, but also that spot. It's just one quickly going to end in pretty much every single court, and well, GTN, they create themselves just another, well, almost unformidable approach, one that is, well, swiftly then back into their own direction. One at back. Snakey, the last to join the party.
They don't really have much on their agenda, do they? They're not playing for fast mid control. They're not trying to play and go for a set smoke towards A. You're not playing without the AWP. You're playing with the Tech 9 as well on Trouble instead of that AWP. So what I would have liked to see is maybe a fast B play, smoke off the balcony, take a Molotov towards Van. You know that Neil Xenia like to play aggressive on the B platform. Try and get that first frag and try and get the bomb down that way and play the after plant. Instead of another force spot coming out, and they're going to go for mid, and with that player towards V apps, this could be a fast B split.
Trouble. He's certainly mounting up the pressure, and Jenko, his position gets spotted, but he's still able to drop down and just do even more. And well, now look at Stanley's spot. He's aggressive, but he's just going for the spray, and if he gets out of this one alive, it's a huge wonder from GTN, and well, thankfully, he will be punished. So at least the response from the team side is much more of a rekindling to this flame. Perhaps one that can try and blow in the wind and at least make this one remotely possible, but then look back towards this map. It's a group up towards mid. We talked about the split towards B. Well, it's no longer a split.
They've grouped together, and the 3 versus 3, this is where the experience and so much comes forth. And actually Snake with a smart boost that catches Neil Xenia off guard, and it's going to be the one-man lead now for GTN. Finally, as it was 7 rounds on the board for FM, and GTN, they have the lead now. The bomb will go down. Utility and Robin kits, so they do have time to work with. Can they try and make this a 2 versus 2 and try and win the duels that way?
This is going to be pivotal for GTN in terms of beginning to mount that comeback. They've kept these rounds nice and close with the right pulse. It's going to be looking to go for this pick. The shot is going to be missed and allows Isaac just to do some work with this Tech 9, leaving just Robin now in a 1v3 with that bomb ticking on away, and it's not going to stop for no man. Leaving Robin with pretty big dwindling odds at this point. And as I was kind of touching on, GTN, aside from the last 2 rounds where FM Esports have walked away with every single player intact, aside from those, a lot of these rounds have been close. It comes down to an economic factor at this
try
point.
and take a few guns out of their hands. This is the first round that they've won, and this is what the problem is now. If FM can win this and reset the economy, we could be seeing another deficit, an even larger deficit coming out for GTN, and 12,000 on Jenko there. I mean, he can keep buying for a few more rounds, and GTN, they're going to be battling versus a lot of firepower leading into the next few rounds, and yes, the money's low, but they need to start kindling rounds together, get their economy rolling, and try and take control of the CT side economy. I mean, it's already 7 rounds on the board for FM. Any more here, if they win the half, 9 or even higher than that, even go to double digits, it'll be so hard for GTN to claw this back.
Ever so favored towards mid, but it's something that the CP side have just become used to handling at this point, as again, it's that same storyline. These initial picks all going in favor of just one direction, one wavering flag as Nil. Trouble just deleted straight off the bat, and himself, and well, GTN now to go into 3v5 now. What else can you possibly do? And well, we can't even pitch the stakes of a 3v5 because their main chance it will be at least a bit more of a contestable trade as Isaac to claim the life of Neil Xenia towards the latter portion of the round. But even then, we're looking at a 2v4. They do have time on their side, but that feels about it.
Yeah, but the problem is though, eventually, I say eventually, Robin's already pushed all the way up A, and he's in T spawn, so if the Ts do get cold feet and the optics dry, go back towards A, Robin will backstab them and take them down. So is telegraphed right now. FM Esports know this will be the B hit, and here it comes.
It's just going to be there. This is Turret right now. Bastion has been brought over from Overwatch, brought in to Counter-Strike, and well, it's just going to make it look easy. Stanley, more than happy to do the job. Some quick cracks to be connected by him, and
It's the
Overall for
aggression.
FM.
It's just the aggression for FM. It's catching GTN off guard, and GTN, they're not playing as a unit. They're playing so individually, and it's not what I want to see if you're the GTN side right now. You're playing Mirage. If you want to play individualistically, that's the problem. It's going to go in the favor of FM Esports. I mentioned before, we could be looking at the best team currently in the league. If you're GTN right now, you need to win off team play and not off raw aim and raw skill.
That's where the advantage will lie, and well, the problem they've got now is their economy really is starting to really build up for the FM side. We look at that, 6th and 7th round, keeping 5 players alive in both is somewhat comfortable as is, and now they're trying to invest with these pistols. Yeah, they will find themselves one for their troubles, and it's going to be knocked down a little bit further. Falling towards the latter portion, and a bomb plant would be pretty much the cherry on top for them. That's the damage which they will eventually find. But even then, at this point, I'm drawn away from the economic factor, and I'm drawn to the scoreline.
It's the reset that's more important, really. Well, yes, the rounds, it's 9-1, and FM, they've already got 9. So, in their eyes, they've already won this half. They've already got the 9 rounds on the board, and any more rounds they pick up, it's going to be bonus for them. And the force buy does come out for GTN. Does Trouble go for the no armor AWP on the glass cannon? If he does buy this, I want to see aggression. I want to see the first pick coming out for him. Yes, he does. Don't go towards B because NeoZeno smokes it.
If I recall last time, Trouble was a player that you were almost channeling a similar sort of thought process. You wanted him to step up to the plate, try and do something, and when he did, he was hitting the shots, and when he didn't, he was placed back and did a square box where he could fall, but he goes for the flick, lands it onto Ozhenko. Counter aggression on the CP side, and one that was almost reminiscent of how we've got to this 11th round. But
It's the 1v1, isn't it?
There's 1v1 as well. We find ourselves with trouble towards Milzinho, so bit by bit, it is that reclamation. A 3v3 is where we find ourselves pitched now. I'm over towards mid right now because Pulse keep an eye on, but Stanley gets a free pick. Surely they should have been aware that there could have been any aggression towards mid.
Yeah, unfortunately for that player there, does wide face to try peek. Connector doesn't expect Stanley to be open. Trouble does get the reface of the Pulse, and does get the second kill as well. Stanley goes down Robin with the AUG. Oh, dearie me.
Trouble, most importantly, playing for the ace at this point.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
found
4
all
frags.
of the picks. He's done all of the work for his team, and if he can total this up with an ace at this point, he has just been huge, because he's pretty much pried open this half again and said, okay, boys, let's at least try and get as many rounds as we can. Let's at least get 4, at least try and play for 5.
You can see he's under pressure as well. Feeling his flash and just trying to get this bomb down and try to work from that. Does he? Oh, he does get the kill! The ace coming out from Trouble takes down Robin. It's going to be 2 on the board, and GTN, they win the force buy with no armor. Trouble gets the ace.
Right now, if we had a crowd behind us, there'd be a whole lot of cheering over that, because Trouble, it was very, very slow, but it was surgical.
Yep.
But again, I feel like it's
Aggression.
so horrendously underrated just how good and how important that was for GTN now, because this is, if they can play up with this and actually really utilize this to the launch pad back into the half, then it's perfect. And look at the counter aggression coming out from Jenko, but Trouble, again, another pick, really stepping up to the plate. He needs to be just a little bit more, and again, just another on towards Pulse. One man doing it all.
Already just 20 seconds into the round. FM, they've got a 1-man lead. This is a 3 versus 2. 1 minute 25 on the clock, so the T's have time to work with the flying picks, but GTN Trouble will go down as NeoZeno gets that swift headshot. Double Dink takes him down, and Bomb will fall as well in suit in mid, and Isaac now goes down. So, thing you might have to bring up as well is, before this match, FM played an online game versus eSubber. Tier 3 or so team, good team, 16-2'd them, and go from a team like that to play versus GTN. I'm not saying GTN are a bad team, obviously, but in terms of experience as well, you've got to be thinking FM, they're playing with such confidence, and the round is determined only 20 seconds into it.
They know the shots they can hit at the end of the day, which when you're up against these kind of unparalleled, longer range, basically AWP-based players of Stanley and Jenko in this position, they're just, as we mentioned before, as we started the statement, just so confident. They know what they can hit, they know they're not going to miss, and that's where these 20-second sort of picks have been connected. We see Stanley in this round, the same old Fatal, jumps up on the box, goes for the fast route in towards Palace, gets the first pick on towards Main Elite. Yes, it's just against pistols, but arguably, it's even bigger of a risk for the AWP to go aggressive.
It is, and it's so nice. It's so refreshing as well to see an aggressive AWP. We've seen so much passive play from the AWP this game, and Stanley with the 2 frags that does take down both those players. AHB and Snakey go down 11-2, but as you were just saying, it is so refreshing to see an aggressive AWP. And Jenko has the movement and the skill to back it up as well, playing so aggressive, finding the first frags. Yes, he's playing aggressive versus pistols, but he gets the information, gets the frag, and the bomb does go down in Palace. So telegraphs where GTN are going, allows for the rotations to come in for FM, and they win it 11-2, and the force buy comes out for GTN.
The domination, domination statistic, should I say, that sits really tightly for me is, you look at Jenko, you look at Stanley, you look at the positions on the board, 12-5 and 16-5. Pulse also up there as well, but it just highlights, when you're looking at a double AWP setup, you wouldn't expect to be seeing that.
Expect it to be see what?
You know, those two players just that far up there.
Well,
that
the
far
thing
ahead.
you have to point out as well is Stanley plays B short, faces mid. Jenko plays mid, obviously facing mid. If there's a heat map right now, the amount of frags we'll be seeing in the middle portion. Oh, he's going to go for the knife. Jenko knifes down Snaky, and unfortunately for him,
We'll talk about confidence. That right there
Yeah.
is the pinnacle of confidence.
in their heads, they've already won this. And this is the problem GTN. They're going to have to find this final round and have a phenomenal CT side if they want any chance of clawing this back. But
It's
as
going
we're
to be a
just...
tough one. Look at their economy.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
tough,
not a
isn't
pretty
it?
picture by a long shot. We're looking at an SMG, a Scout, and some Tech Dines now. All that's left for me to say in pretty quick
Auto
succession,
sniper.
what will they do?
Yeah, and I think Nilzini might have a field day if they go towards B, and he could just mow them down. Actually does decide to boost up Jenko instead.
Might actually happen. It's going to be Sally to find that first big majorly, and things are beginning to build up for the Solar Sniper. It's getting absolutely nowhere, and not off the basis the shots are being missed, but the fact that Pulse, he's decided, you know what, no, I want to get the frags here. I want my name on that scoreboard, and, well, why does it matter at this point? 12-2 is going to be the scoreline, and, well, unless trouble can go for 1v5 again, it looks like
Top fraggers for the team as well are the two oppers that are playing towards mid, and that's so important. So, as I mentioned just before, heat map. If we saw a heat map for this game, you would be seeing so much aggression from the CT side and from the T side. They're trying to take control of mid, but there's only one round I can think in my head that they won. The 3 versus 3 when they actually had control of mid. Apart from that, the aggression from the FM side, but they're doing it calculated. They're flashing for each other. They're playing the refrags and the trades, and it feels like it always goes in favor of the more experienced side. And FM, they're 13-2 up.
Well, for now, comes down to this fist around. Can GTN reinsert the dream, reinsert the hope, and at least put up a fight in this one? Already is going to be a bit of an underpass phase to take some formation. The rest of the T side, they're on towards short right now, and they're looking just to really barrel on through. Nothing is going to hold them back, and, well, it seems like they've decided to actually withdraw back over towards Connector. This is great from them. At the same time, they're walking Dead Set into a bit of a crossfire, but it's one that's just going to be dismantled. Close range Glock.
The kit is towards jungle. Troubled by that, but actually the quick headshot from Pulse will take down Snaky, and it's now a one-man lead, and we've seen what happened before when FM had the lead.
Look at Isaac, he's over towards Ram now. He could pretty much be the pinnacle factor. If Majorly and Isaac can combine here and set themselves up perfectly, then we could be looking at a complete different affair. But Majorly will fall. Isaac, he will put up a fight in terms of finding that frag on towards Nilzinho, but now he's in a 1v2. He needs 2 crisp back-to-back one-taps. And
Robin
Robin,
wins
well, he just steals his fire and flame.
There was the kit right there. Isaac couldn't really retrieve that, and a lot of the time, if you are the AWP in mid playing a Mirage, if you are the rotator, that's really important. The rotator on the CT side should be buying the kit, as he is, the first player onto site. Have the kit drop on site does really, really help with the retake. But anyway, enough of that. FM win the second pistol, and they say that the pistol comes down to, which was down to individual skill, and obviously FM, they've got a hell lot of it.
Really hard not holding back at any point now, as it's going to be just a 5-man back 10, or just a Zerg style of rush. They're bringing back down towards too aggressive. Almost tactical minds is just going to be easy pickings, money to be made, but is that really the narrative we need to draw towards at this point? Something tells me a little bit else is what we're aiming towards, 14-2, and, well, again, unless we can see another 1v4 take place. Looking like
Jenko's is mopping up those
15-2.
frags.
I think for GTN, what I want to look at right now is how can they learn from this? What is the the big thing they can look and go, okay, going through the second, what do we change?
Not too sure on the map, but FM have picked Mirage a lot recently. Picked it versus Endpoint, that's 16-7, so Mirage is their comfort pick. Not too sure on the next one, but we will obviously bring you the information on that once that comes. But at this point, 15-2, I can't really be seeing too much of a comeback coming here.
Yeah, I think Hope is...
Let's talk about the next map. So, I'm not too
I
sure what the net
I
pack
don't want to
is.
get too premature. We have a lot of time
okay.
to go into that. So we'll touch on that in a second. Let's at least kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. As the Russian is going to be that first pick to be connected. But Trouble and Snaky, they will begin to form up into something. Relighting that candle. He's only going to be 2, and this cross begins to come on over. They're going to be getting that bomb down. A little bit of a wide plant, but we'll get away fairly unscathed. Pink coming in, and Majorly could have been set up to do some damage there and bring things back to even more of a workable spot, but just unable to get the jump in any way, shape, or form. And well, now this leaves Snaky in just such a tough predicament over to the jungle. He's got players peeking from every single direction. He's making it work, finds himself back-to-back headshots. And he makes it work, and this is why we don't get ahead of
I
ourselves.
had GTN written off there. I thought that was going to be a 15-3. I mean, I don't expect them to win the game, but we could see some confidence around on the board. Yes, they might lose the map, but at the same time, if they can make this walk, 16-8 or so. Try and get 5 or so confidence round and just think in the heads, we can beat these guys.
I think this is, something that, transitions quite nicely over from last week, something we talked quite heavily about, which is, even if they don't close this one out, say this one ends 16-5, 16-6, it is about that confidence going to the second map there, guys.
Momentum as well.
We can actually, outfrag these guys. We can actually, I can kill that guy.
I can kill that guy. Yes,
Yeah.
Trouble might be thinking in his head, you know what? Jenki's a crisp lad, but maybe I can win those duels. I mean, we saw such a stark difference from when we saw him play versus other AWPers. He seems so careful and so passive. I want to see Trouble. He is a good, aggressive AWPer, but he's playing passive. It doesn't work into the way that GTN play their T sides. And going into the next map, I want to see a lot more confidence and a lot more plays.
FM, this is a lethal concoction, but one that is going to be down somewhat prematurely, but the execute is still going to be going off. The smoke's being off somewhat missed out, but they don't even need them at this point. That is one hell of a spray if I've ever seen one before. But nonetheless, look at Jenko. He's over towards Ramp. He's going to be holding this one down, and, well, at least he's getting out. Tough one, but the overface from Pulse will net Isaac a frag. Robin holding towards Connector, the headshot on towards Major Lee, so trades are plenty. Very, very low, and that's going to be almost the punishing incision. It will catch him off guard as Treble now 10 HP. A man who has pulled off a 1v5 for at least make this round one more doable. He will find the first, but not quite able to find the second, and there you have it. Not quite 16-5, not quite 16-6. It will be just down to 16-3. So overall, nothing to contrite for GTN. But
Nope.
It's all about the positives. What can they do going to this second round?
Surprisingly, though, they did win their 3 versus 3 once they had control of mid. The problem is, getting control of mid for them was so difficult. You saw what happened. FM playing from B short, had Stan AWPing from B short, Jenko AWPing in mid, constantly jumping out the window trying to find that first frag. Yes, he got traded, but that 1-for-1 trade, especially got Stanley on B short and then Pulse in connected, just netted them so much mid control. Having control of mid made it so hard for FM, so hard for GTN to net themselves some rounds, and Neil Zinho playing so well towards B. We didn't really see too much for GTN going towards A.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like when they tried to go for variation towards the end, it was almost, to that point where, I don't want to say demotivated, I don't feel like that's the right way to approach
Deflated.
it. It deflated. I think that actually sums it up quite nicely, because they tried to go towards mid so much, but every single time these AWPs, they were always there. The really kind of almost surprising factor for me, and something that stuck with me right from the get-go, I believe it was in the 6th round, was the fact that Jenko, he just did a simple thing. He swapped it over from window over towards connector, and that alone caught GTN off guard. They just weren't expecting that. They found a pick in the 2nd round where Jenko got punished for doing the same thing again. But it's that dynamic level play that just allows FM to be one step ahead practically 24/7.
If you're the AWPer as well, and they are smoking top mid, and you know that, and you have the spawn that goes close towards A, you can go up that CT area, go past triple boxes, go into connector, and before those players come out, you can catch them off guard, and we saw Jenko do that, netting himself the first frag, but the story to be told, the long story short, was FM, they held mid, and they would not let it go.
Well, that pretty much is in a nutshell now. I believe we are going to be heading to what should be a very, very short break. Just a couple of minutes, hopefully, as these guys get themselves nice and comfortable to go straight back into what will be our last map of the night.
Hi everyone, two really weird things have happened this week. First, I signed this legally binding contract and got paid a load of money to advertise games deals. And then, literally, a couple of days after that, I managed to get NBA 2K17 for the low price of $34.99 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One at Game, saving £15. Ah, crazy days.
Hello, gentlemen. We are back with the final game of the night. Obviously, we could sit and watch Counter-Strike all day. I could cast it all day. What can I say?
So we can't complain, right? And much as it wasn't, it wasn't a close scoreline, there was actually a lot of competitive moments in that, which I think are often underrated.
More than just a 16-1 in that game.
Yeah,
Or 16-2 or 16-3. Anyway, Cash.
Point the same.
So, leading to the next map, this will be Cash. I believe this is FM's pick, and I don't know how I'm feeling from GTN.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want to be this optimist. I like to always be. The cup is half full, but this is Cash, and this is a map where arguably this is within that top 3 circle, and I think arguably is not even needed in that sentence, to be honest. It is a map that you can just do so much as an individual to just really have control over the map. Be this basically possessive hand.
We're going to be seeing Jenko, Stanley. I'm not sure which player is going to be the entry frag on this team. They can all do it, but one of these players is just going to say, boost me mid. Every single time. We're going to see so much mid control coming up from FM. I mean, they can even just run at A if they want to. The aim is so strong. And GTM, they're going to have to play as a unit, play as a team, flash for each other, play together if they want to take this.
The problem is if you take control of mid, that's like basically saying, okay, I've got the center of the world in control. I want to go anywhere else. And if you've got the center under control, you can just spiral out to anywhere nice and comfortably. Mid is by far one of the most important parts of Cash as a map on a whole. And well, hey, one thing is certain. We have ourselves a knife round. The result, do you think it's going to pay too huge of a factor?
I actually hope GTN lose this. The reason being is FM go T side. I think this could be a mauling.
Well, played your point there. Not quite
I'll
sure
talk more about it now. So
where we can go off that. So yeah,
Cash T side. Cash T side. As I've just mentioned before, these players, they want to go aggressive towards mid, and you have Jenko, Stanley, these phenomenal aimers. They want to get boosted up mid, have their 1 versus 1 duels, and unless GTN they have trouble AWPing it, it's not going to be looking too good. We saw what happened in the last game. GTN got outplayed, out-aimed, and hate to say it, but outbrained.
Well, you said it all. It's all about exactly when they've been outbrained, and such and really is a lot of culminating factors. But hey, let's kind of almost wash this one out. Just whip out the mouthwash, wipe it clean. We have ourselves at least an attempt at a fresh slate for GTN.
This is going to be an early aggression towards B. Isaac playing with the kit, playing retake, has the smoke and the kit. I'll talk about that after the round if it comes into play. But we're going to be seeing 2 players pushing aggressive towards B, and once they have the information, we will see the rotate come towards A.
Just the inkling that you have, a thought process to discuss behind that. Of course, is certainly something to be a little bit more excited about. It is just going to be tapping through the smoke. Major Lee, that was insane. But can he follow up on it? Can his team really play behind him? As it is going to be the push coming in from A, and it will be a bit of a 1-for-1 trade. Robin putting up the fight will eventually find that return, and the bomb is going to find its way down. Nonetheless, Snakey trying to contest over towards A main, but this one, it's been solid from the CT side. It leaves Pulse now. Nowhere left to run, and well, seems like the only place he's going to be heading towards is a very smooth grade with Strubble. Just another headshot to add to the tally. Great stuff coming in, and something has to be said. That was great from FM in terms of trying to get out and towards the side, but mainly 2 1-taps.
The big question is, what happens if those 2 1-taps don't come in?
That's exactly what I'm trying to allude to right now. Is if he doesn't find those 2 1-taps...
Was that 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3? 1 versus 3, so +2, 3 versus 3, yeah.
We could be seeing FM have this just overwhelming level of control on the site, where then they have these close angles on lockdown, and we have to see the CT side try and retake, and that's where they could get caught
But they were playing with the kit, so they could have allowed the retake to happen, the flashes as well, but why'd you play for the kit smoke? Retaking A is so easy if you are the CT side. I mean, such open angles, and obviously these T-sided players don't have too much to their name, as they've only got pistols but no armor. They've got 2 frags on the B bomb site, and a few... I'm not saying utility, 1 HE, but they do have the firepower, the FAMAS, and hopefully these T players don't fall down early as they want to have this site to play the aftermath.
We just talked about this happening over towards the A site, but that was in the context around that, on paper, should actually be contestable, but this, on the other hand, should be nowhere near the situation that's in right now, which is a CT side.
Do they know what site it is?
I don't think they actually have any idea. They are quite literally the definition of dazed and confused. The bomb is ticking on away. Another frag to be found by Jenko. This is madness. What on earth is going on the T side? They're making this one work. Another frag on towards AHB. A clean face. Snods, help me out here. This is
I think
ridiculous.
GTN need your help on that one.
Eco from FM.
I wouldn't say clean. Pulse died, but
Well, no, I mean,
yeah.
it was them on a clean eco.
Oh,
by
right, you
definition
mean
of what they
no
bring
armor.
into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
round.
yeah.
It
So,
doesn't-
trouble with the CZ. Obviously, T's got the bomb down, so they're going to be on a full eco. He's expecting the full buy to come into the second round. He saves the pistol so that he can buy the AWP onto the second round. So he has the AWP versus the AKs. Problem is, Trouble walks into 5 players. It gets the 1-for-1 trade. I'm not even too sure how that second player died on B, but once that second player falled, gave up that B bomb site. Retaking the B bomb site is so hard, and especially when you're playing versus those pistols. But yes, they had no armor, but the way you can play around the site, you can jiggle the angles, and FM, they played it smart, and they pull through, and they win the round. They win the force buy, and now their money's going to be so good, and the money on the CT side is not looking too good. So they got 3-5-7s, and they forced it.
This push is going to begin to really take shape over towards this A site. That is pretty much where FM have taken the Warpaint and began to spread it nice and layered across that container, across that bomb spot. But in the meanwhile, when do they actually want to commit? When do they want to bite that bullet and go? As it is going to be Snaky holding very close on that aforementioned bomb plant spot in terms of default. And if he just sits tight, if he doesn't face, he has a lot of potential to find that first snapping headshot from there. It's just going to be this turtle that sits tight and has an impact. He peeks. And that pretty much nullifies anything he could do.
The Molotovs do not connect, but unfortunately for Snaky, Pulse does win that trade, and the frags come out so fast. You see what happens when it's just open aim and open skill that just defines these players. Trouble in the 1 versus 4. He's been dinked up his low HP. I'm not really seeing too much, but didn't get a few guns out of the hands of the T side. Could potentially, dent the T economy, but unfortunately for him, he goes down. And as I just said before, when it's the wide face, no flashes, just raw aim coming out. And FM Esports, they bring that one through and they make it 2-1. And the Molotovs came out, but no Molotovs connected. But Snaky getting a pulling the trigger maybe a little bit too fast. There's 3 Molotovs onto the site. They're not faking this. They're gonna commit. Snaky peeks for maybe some information, but commits to the spray, loses it to Paulson. Stanley, that's a nice shot.
It's a nice way to start. And well, can he close it out? Is this going to be just another face to be added to the tally? He's ever so confident once again. Nothing that he didn't learn to expect. And well, he didn't even need to find the frag there because if he missed those shots, the frag grenade would have done the job for him. But hey, just another tertiary to be added to the tally is Major League next in line. And well, it seems like it is just going to be a quick line at that one that is rapidly dwindling in numbers with just 1 man left remaining in trouble. It's going to make it a little bit more entertaining. He's going to have a bit of a fuss. But eventually, going to be kicked back into shape, and well, we know where that leads. And right now, that is an opportunity for GTN to buy. But this is incredible for them, and that lack of what they could go glass cannon if they really want to stress the risk. But it doesn't really feel like that would be worth it, and we aren't going to see that take place.
As I mentioned before in the last stream when I casted GTN, Isaac plays an incredibly low sense. It'd be quite hysterical to see him off trying to hit those flick shots and hit his keyboard and so forth. But as I mentioned before, the early aggression from mid. It's going to be Jenko now, the AWP, trying to go for those 1 versus 1s, and will he win it?
Actually swinging the player towards Ved, and most importantly missing the shot
So
that gets
fast.
the return pick. Now
Oh
looking for
my
another.
goodness!
And Jenko, are you kidding me? Great stuff coming out from him. Catches off Isaac. Major League will try and find the trade as he burns away in those flames, and well, they wave quite thick, but he will at least get away with just 20 HP, so a smattering of what he originally found himself attacked upon. And Azinio, he's hunting for this one. He sees a whole lot of red. He is hungry for blood, and well, an easy way to find himself a target. The crossfire will come on in, but Snaky only going to find one. The spray down just not quite going to be apparent. There's trouble. Just a bit elevated angle, but it's going to be all but meaningless. There's 3 men get left standing for FM, and well,
How
I
did
already
he
know
not
what you're
die?
alluding to right here.
How did Jenko not die? He gets 2 frags there. I mean, I mentioned before there is the movement and the skill to back up his aggression. And you saw there such swift, skillful shots coming from him. Takes down both those players mids, and once the mid control comes out, Neil Jr. finds the gap. He finds the gap in the B vent, drops down, catches that player off guard, and takes down Major Lee, and that opens up the B bomb site and the GTN side. They fall 1 by 1, and they're back onto the eco. And I mentioned before that GTN, I hope that they lost the knife so they would start on the T side, so they didn't, The frags are coming out actually. AHB and Isaac find some frags, 3 versus 4, but unfortunately for them, it's the 3 versus 3. Do have armor though, and actually AHB wins the duel. It's the 3 versus 1.
It's not it's happening again. This is madness. I find myself on loop at this point. Just whip out a recorder and just play it from the round where we originally saw FM. Dish this out to GTN in the second. Stanley gonna try and at least keep things simple, looking to restore some sort of normality. It's all really good. He can try and be that keeper. But he's up against a Kevlar-backed rifle and AWP onto his trouble. Yes, it's glass cannon, but at this point, this is perfect for the CT side to try and retake. Stanley misses the initial shots, gets himself some information. He's going to try and throw a knee to land. That's it. I think the flash will be popping. This is going to be blinding towards highway, so enables him to find the first, but can he find the second as he withdraws over towards Carl, but the angle to be held from trouble, and oh, the fuss to be kicked up. Nets him that frag. It is going to be a long defuse. But 3 frags from Trouble, added up by the tally from the rest of his team, great stuff.
Yeah, gap in the smoke there, allowing Trouble to get that refrag and wins the 1 versus 1, but he still has Stanley played it. He isolates each player, spots out the player, knows there's no player truck because obviously that player would have rotated earlier. So once he spots the player highway, sees it on truck, he takes the isolator 1-on-1, wins the duel, makes it the 1 versus 1, but unfortunately for him, his smoke failed and there's a gap in him, allowing Trouble to win that 1 versus 1. And 2-round lead now for FM, and I mentioned before that the aim is so strong on the FM side, but the teamwork and the actually individual play coming from Trouble that nets in their 2nd round on the board.
The 2nd round is going to be one that is fruitful.
Jankon boosted again.
And this time, GTN, they're clocking onto this one. They are adapting. Now, this is 100% what we wanted to see. Now, the thought that sits in my mind now is that it's almost a bit of a seed that has been planted for GTN, because they either have 2 options. They step up to the plate, they hit these shots, and they keep on adapting, they keep on fluctuating their playstyle on the CT side and being aggressive, and they don't give FM room. Or on the flip side, they allow FM to walk on towards sites and they challenge them on these retakes. And if they do try and go for that retake potential option, that one is going to be the more scary factor for me. We need to see them be a little bit more prominent. So it's going to be either...
Oh, but Trouble there gets the refrag, the 3 versus 4 now as the T attack comes in, but Robin will find Trouble. 3 versus 3, and as I mentioned before, the B bomb site's so hard to retake. They do have the mollies and the nades, but HP with the backstab takes down Neil's units. The 2 versus 3, and low HP on these players. Robin only 12 HP, gets isolated at that pit position and goes down. GTN, they're clawing it back. You mentioned the retakes. I mean, in my eyes, if GTN are going to win this, they don't want to play the 1 versus 1 individual duels, because FM we saw happen on Mirage. They want to play the retakes, play it smart, shoot the players in the back. We saw the timings, they're working so well for AHB.
I think the comparison that I take from that is, I wholeheartedly agree on the 1v1 aspect, and I can see your points on the retake aspect, but the one thing I always kind of want to see from a CT side, especially one that has to be as dynamic as GTN right now are situated as, not the single peaks, more those double peaks, the ones where you're going out, you're looking for these trades, you're looking to force the hand of FM and basically say, you know what, we don't respect you. We want to frag you and we will find that pick.
Yeah, I can see a reasoning there, but the problem is the way GTN are playing, especially their setup, they are playing towards mid, but if FM opt to go towards A, those, double peaks and whatnot won't really be up for the pickings. As the Molotovs and so come out, but they're playing retake towards A. They have the utility and the kits and whatnot to back this up, so the bomb should go down for the FM side. Actually, a third Molotov towards default, and the spray comes through. Pulse finds another one, and the boost comes in, and it's going to be a 1 frag apiece as the trade comes off at AHB, but it's going to be the 2 versus 4.
Disastrous round coming out to the table. The B side, they are just walking all over them. We are going to see an attempt at a response, but it's a 1v3. This is going to be difficult as is. You add into the mix the players and their positions. Well, scared to say because already the flash really popping, but even before it begins to let go of that blinding grip, he's already in the grave. 3 to 5 will be that score.
So,
yeah, economy is something that has to be discussed.
Before that round unfolded, I'll get to the economy in just a second, but before that round unfolded, that failed Molotov towards the default is so important because it allowed FM to plant the bomb and it allowed that aggression as well. The Molotov didn't hit. You saw what happened. Pulse pushes through, gets the player highway, and obviously that spray that came through that, gap between forklift and site smoke, smoked off highway. That highway smoke, that spray that came through there, took down that player and made it a 3 versus 5 instantly. But the economy, as you just said, GTN on the recent. Actually, Isaac, that fast boost comes out but does not net them the kill. The hand has been shown and the early aggression for GTN not paying out for them.
A game of poker proving to be relatively risky for GTN at this point. Have to almost play this kind of hard reset where they try and change things up and be this unpredictable force, but right now the longer range shot seems to be the only ones that are willing to land, as Isaac will tap on away and at least manages to claim the life of Stanley. But it's arguable the impact that will have, as one by one the rest of the team, they seem to be falling. Well, Stanley's death traded out by the rest of his team keeping it clean. I don't think FM are complaining.
Clinical anti-eco there. Now the money is on both these players' side, both these teams' side. GTN, they have the money for the buy, but as I mentioned before, Trouble without the money for the AWP, and actually he's going to buy Thanos, I believe. Yes, he will. Thanos in a smoke, so his firepower not really what you want, especially as GTN they rely so much on that AWP from Trouble, as we have seen in the previous weeks. And the play now for FM, I mean, they have the firepower advantage, they have the AWP. Where will Jenko go for their first pick and play so aggressive towards B?
Trying to land at their feet, not quite going to be converting anything just yet, but they're throwing out more and more, and now majorly he's running into a Molotov. He doesn't quite know what keys to press, where to run. He's still trying to play off the back of this, but the fire, it's just going to keep on catching up. Has to drop a defensive smoke. But this is so much investment from the T side, but so much to be forced in return from that CT side. GTN, now they have very limited supplies left in that regard. You look across their team right now, we're looking at effectively flashes aside from one Molotov. And FM, they can now just walk freely, go back to this pick-based default, where they get, well, frankly put, they always seem to be able to get these picks. Jenko does it again.
They play it fast and they slow it down just at the right time when the CTs play for information and HB loses the George versus Jenko. Actually, the 4 versus 4 comes out, Robin pushing to the side, takes down trouble. What is that aggression from Snakey? It's not really needed. I mean, the round just ends instantly. No flash coming out there, just dry runs through that smoke, trying to see if a player's not looking, but these players, FM, they're on the ball. They take down the player, they watch for the aggression, but as I mentioned before, they play fast and they slow it down the right time. The tempo is matched so well. And as soon as the CTs play for information, Jenko holds the angle and AHB falls. And once that 4 versus 5 comes out, you know it's 2A, it's 2B. You have 5 players run towards A, it's a 5 versus 2.
I can't help but look at this lineup and go, they have some serious potential. Because I look at that decision from Isaac to take the elevated angle from Heaven. He gets himself that pick, right? But then where things crumbled was that peak from Snakey. It wasn't really needed.
Yep.
So something kind of sits with me right now and goes, GTN, I do actually think that they have a lot of, this bundling talent, that if they just have the right setups, we could be seeing so much more from them on their CT side.
Well, they are opting in for the retakes, as I mentioned before. Isaac playing towards, on their buy rounds anyway, playing towards Car and opting in for the retake as they believe that they can win, as a team. Play the retakes with the Molotovs, the flashes, and play as a unit, but they're not allowing themselves to get into the retake situation. Instead, they play the 1 versus 1 duels, and FM, they're winning it.
Oh, you talk about playing for the retakes when they're going for these, just individual crazy pushes through smokes and such. Well, frankly, you're never going to get there. So we have to see a change at least get, bashed through their heads, so they are going to be at least getting a lot of damage to be inflicted to those brains. It is going to be the pistols that we try to be a little bit more inflicting, but eventually death nonetheless.
So the setups we've been seeing is the 1-3-1 on the CT side. 3 players playing towards mid, trying to hold off that mid aggression. But we've seen FM, they're not really opting to go for mid aggression. Jenko played it once, had a phenomenal 2K with his AWP. Tried it again and got shot down. And instead FM, they've been playing more towards having, the heavy execute towards A and the heavy execute towards B. And actually the 1-2-2 setup coming up. So they are playing retake towards A. We might see some B aggression coming out. I want to see some information gathered from the CT side because right now they're losing the retakes.
Basically looking to see can they make themselves a play, step up to the plate, get themselves a pick here and there. Whether that actually gets converted into something in a round at all, well, it's all talk for now. Talk? Well, that's one thing, but actually doing some damage at holding the ball game is already. Jenko peeks up through mid. Just as this 1-3-1 gets changed, just as FM decide that mid is what they want on their platter, and a huge shot to miss with that AWP, and just so uncomfortable for trouble, and well, he'll pay the cost of that one with his life, as now Major League. Miss out, finds up one for his troubles, but in that position, no matter how good he's going to be, there's nothing he can do. He's always going to get traded.
And once the nades are used from the CT side, the Molotov and smokes fade. You see the boost comes up for FM, the peaks come out, and they win the duels. Mid control is taken, the split towards B comes out through vent. Once again, Gencon boost gets the opening frag, and it followed up by his teammates. They have control of mid, and they know to play fast. They don't allow the CTs to rotate. And yes, you're playing retakes, but the problem is, if you're playing so heavy in mid and you can't hold it, give up mid, don't allow the Ts to have the 1 versus 1 duels, and instead play on the site. Allow the Ts to push up, flash the angles. Say you're playing default site, players pushing highway, flash highway, peek with that, peek together, play with utility instead of just playing the 1 versus 1 angels.
Really make it sound so simple.
But it's so easy to look, like when you're looking at the screen like we are, it's so easy. When in the game, it's so hard to adjust.
Yeah, it's difficult because you get yourself in this kind of almost this gutter. Whereas every single round you drop behind, it feels almost 10 times harder to claw yourself back out of it. And, I always feel a level of pain for GTN right now because, again, it comes back to what we saw in that kind of 4th and 5th round where I genuinely think this lineup has potential. It feels like a couple of misguided decisions here and there, a couple of setups that are, read so perfectly from FM. We talked about this 1-3-1 from the CT side. Every time the 1-3-1 has not been played, they've gone mid. It's going to be aggression this time around and almost a bit of a counter after that as they push dead set through a smoke and they get completely shut down by the CT side. Not quite a 1-3-1, but nonetheless.
What even is that?
Quick picks. They just decided to push a smoke. That completely counteracts everything I'm going into. I'm just talking about how smart FM have been. And then we go into a 13th round where they
you might as well try it.
Mid. As much as you might as well try, is there a strategy in CS where that's actually justified? I can't come up with one.
Yes, there is when you do the smokes, the 2 smokes mid, but
I'm
instead...
talking dry push through a smoke and
No,
mid.
long story short, no. You know that the CTs are playing heavy towards mid and you just walk into their crossfires and their crosshairs, but Snakey playing retake towards A, misses the first shot, and now the A site is up for pickings for the T side. They can play it however they want. No Molotov to come out towards default, so the bomb will go down. And take my words back, the Molotov comes out, but only stops the plant briefly. the T's, they can have whatever after plant they want. Jenko in the middle there tries to get a bit too aggressive. Isaac shuts him down, and we're now seeing the one-man lead, the utility, the kits are on the CT side. They can win this.
Pulse and Stanley, however, if they play this one perfectly, get themselves in this crossfire, then there's a lot of potential, and then you add into the mix that Robin with his AWP, he's playing so elevated on the boost, and the CT side, they're just not quite checking it. Now Pulse over towards Forklift, can he live up to the hype that we set to the plot? Finds himself the first, looking for the second, flicks on towards Forklift,
no.
finds the third, on towards Major Lee, and well, Pulse, what a way to step up to the plate. We hyped him up, and he delivers. Trouble, the last man remaining, a 1v4, and there is nothing he can do.
I look at the CT utility, I see so many nades, Molotov flashes, smokes. I look away for 1 second, I look again, no utility, and they all drive face into Pulse, and they all die one by one. Pulse with a phenomenal 3k, they're great play from him. You got to use your nades effectively, especially if you're playing the retake. Smoke off, I mean. Have the Molotov towards Forklift, yes. You Molotov default, but you need to have the Molotovs in unison. Molotov default, Molotov Forklift, flush out the plays. Actually, no, I take that back. You have to decide. If you're the CT side and you're playing the retake, you have to think. Do we stop the after plant and play quite aggressive? Or do we let them plant what they want and then flush them out once they are playing the after plant?
I feel like you highlight it so perfectly, because it's all about making decisions, and when we talk about decisions, it's one that links to aggression at this point from Trouble as he pushes up close and personal, finds one, but looks for a second, and perhaps almost a little too greedy as he reaches too far into the bottom, pulls out a bit of a sour candy, one that will be a bit more of an uncomfortable treat. The bomb is going to go down, and now a rifle in Isaac's hands, but pistols in the rest, they seem to be falling. Well, Fakey, pretty much all that remains from this fight from behind.
11-4. GTN. I mean, this is notoriously a, you could argue, T-sided map, especially in the current meta. Usually saying 9-6 being the scoreline, not 11-4 though, and you can see the difference. Those rounds are made up in the individual skill on the FM side, and they did win the pistol. Actually, no! GTN won the pistol, then obviously that force by, not even a force by, the full eco, they 1B. Imagine if that changed, we could be looking at 6-9.
For me, the big stature as well is when you look at the way these rounds have been collected, we're looking at 4, 5, and then 2 in complete and utter strings, just flat. There is no, argument about it, and that does say something. Either way, it's a pistol. Seeing aggression from the CT side. They're looking to find themselves these initial picks, but Jenko, his teammate will fall behind him, but he's still standing.
Wow.
How on earth is he alive? Pulse, a headshot onto a Snakey, and Jenko, we've seen him before towards mid, stay alive in an impossible situation. Well, he's only gone and done it again. Trouble, the last man remaining. And GTN, oh, are there any wounds left to lick?
His teammate dies, somehow he is not killed by those two players, instead takes those two players out. Main, the player behind him, and Vent doesn't take him down as well. Somehow Jenko stays alive. Great 3k there for him, but Trouble, he's found 2 kills, and out of nowhere, this is a 1 versus 2.
Trouble, he's done this before. Let's just take a step back and realize that he's pulled a 1 versus 5 out of his bag in order to keep his team,
was a 1 versus
his
4.
dream alive.
But regardless, 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5, it's all the same. As he needs to find these players with 1 minute on the clock and low HP on Robin, this is definitely winnable. If he takes his player down, Pulse is all to play in his favor.
Gonna be a tough one. Constant shoulder peeks for the headshot. It's gonna be connected, and well, now you look at the HP of Robin, just 12. A shot from Trouble could end this one. So close, but so far. Goes for the shot on Robin.
No.
That is heartbreaking, right down to the wire, and well, he tries to get the 1v5.
You already know, as me watching this back on the replay, such a nice try for him. Isolates the 1 versus 1s, gets the 2 1 versus 1s in CT, wins both those duels, takes down Pulse and Robin, the final boss at 12 HP, doesn't quite connect the first shot, and it looked like aim punch, didn't it? I don't think he had armor, and
it's just uncomfortable, and it is almost, just brutalization at this point. There have been so many hopes and dreams for the GTN side that have swiftly just been shattered, as already it seems like their target is going to be the level playing field of mid, but it's one that is swiftly just going to be shut down this time around by Nelzinho, and well, like an eyelid,
you missed it.
gone.
Heavy play from mid from the T side of GTN, as we saw on the previous map on Mirage, and as of course what happened on the Ken on the previous map was it gets shut down immediately. Let's take a look at frags. We haven't really done that too much this game, have we? So
I feel like it's
not really that important, but Snakey 3 for 14. Obviously, not everyone can have the best game. Very spread across the board on the CT side, and it's not really. Yes, they're playing. I wouldn't say individually, but GTN on their CT side, it didn't really work out for them. And when you lose both pistols in one map, it's so hard to claw back from that, as you are in a 6 or so round deficit. Anyway, though, here comes the full eco. Maybe they're trying to see if they can win their eco, as obviously FM won it on their T side, but unluckily for them, it's not really looking in their favour. I take that back. It's the 3 versus 3, but low HP and no armor. These players, the bomb does go down, so we could be seeing an AWP coming up for Trouble.
Major Lee still standing, gets himself the headshot, will eventually get punished, but hey, they're keeping it relatively close and getting down to 2. Nothing to be complaining about.
In my head, I keep thinking that GTN have lost both the pistols because you look at the scoreline and you saw what happened, especially on their full eco, FM's full eco, when they went towards B, they opened on the side. Oh, Stanley.
Not like this, boys. This is not how you represent UKCS.
Yeah, well, 14-4, 10 rounds on the board. Not even 10 rounds on the board, 10 rounds on the lead for them. They're feeling very comfortable, and it's definitely showing.
Yeah, certainly, of course. Not quite a blink of an eyelid, because that doesn't really add too much sense. But hey, this entire matchup feels somewhat nonsensical to me, to be honest, because I'm looking at what's been playing. You know,
But
GTN, they have this game plan of how they want to approach things, but then a couple of individual plays always seem to set them behind.
mid control coming out, Neozuni with the auto sniper takes down 2 players towards B, and this B split is just absolutely crumbled, and it's been a bloody disaster for GTN. They just don't care.
Part of me is extremely disheartened to watch this because I will put it
Penalty
straight up
points.
there. I'm going to be blunt. I hate it because I think like the UKCS team could represent themselves so much better in this regard, where you close it out when you act like a sportsmanship, basically, in a nutshell, is what I'm kind of alluding towards. But hey, it's their decision to let them however they want to approach things. As Isaac
This is a Molotov.
gets the headshot.
Anyway, let's stay serious in this. We could obviously dwindle off and get a bit sarcastic here, but we are casting Counter-Strike at the end of the day, and even if the players aren't playing too professionally, we can still keep the cast nice and stern. So, trouble now with the AWP, the 3 versus 2, as it's been in, I would say, handed to GTN in their favour, as obviously the team kills do come out, but Isaac in squeaky here. Can he open the door and try and catch Jenko off guard here with the AWP? The Molotov comes out, but it's not Molotov off towards MBK, but tags his teammate. Jesus Christ, the amount of team damage we're seeing right now is out of this world. Anyway, troubled out towards Forklift. Can he catch Pulse on the rotation? Yes, he can.
Trouble. He's just going to be a turret at this point. just
Trouble,
knocking them dead.
trouble. I'm not singing Taylor Swift. I'm actually reading off the kill feed. Does get both those kills, and it's going to be 5-14 now.
Oh, he's certainly going to be looking to keep on singing that tune, and if he comes out into a bit more of a positive song like that, one of a successive love story, we could be seeing new beginnings.
I wouldn't
into
say
this round.
it's a successful love story, especially with Taylor Swift.
It's all about rewriting the story, right? Sometimes you've
Yeah.
got to take a narrative and you've got to turn a fresh page and go, you know what, I'm going to take the story, I'm going to make it my own. But, creativeness aside, it's 5-14. At least in this round, this should be fairly clear cut for GTN. You take the scoreline away. This is 4 rifles and AWP up against Kevlar pistols.
Then again, the FM side, such highly skilled individuals, and they can obviously pull this round through. Cash, such a good map to have the force buy on. Close range duels, especially as they are stacking towards B, and the bomb is outside B, T-spawn, so GTN could be showing their hand, and they could be opting in for this B take, and if they walk into the clutches of this pistol buy from FM, we could be seeing 15-5, and this game ending pretty fast.
Going to be coming ever so close at this point, but the peak is going to come in from Snakey bit by bit, just gets himself in towards position. He's looking for some information, trying to garner out something for his team and saying, basically, can they get a read of exactly what is taking place, which you look towards the CT side, look towards the way they are constructing themselves. It's very well held together, and they're not facing. They're just holding these close angles, and then look towards Robin as well. He's getting so much information right now, which is pretty much exactly what the CT side need in terms of setting up their stack.
But Pulse though with the refrag onto major lead. It's going to be the 4 versus 4. That player in under vent doesn't plug in the frag, but Pulse with 1 picks up the AK. Can he spray down his player? Sprays down 1. Does damage towards Isaac, the 1 versus 2, but unfortunately for him, Jenko will go down to Isaac's AK headshot. Robin, the 1 versus 2, no guns picked up just yet, but he has picked up the AK now. And actually, Isaac, he must have saw that. The 1 versus 1.
Not like this, boys. This should not be happening. Robin, he's going to try and make this one work. Drops down a bit of a defensive smoke, picks up just another. I have to decide if he
plays it fast as well.
But he's going for the knife kill. Robin, how are you trying to make this one work? He's so mobile about the way he's approaching this one, just jumping around the place, finally looking to maybe just drop down just another smoke. He doesn't have a kit, bear in mind, so now he's looking to really bake this peak as trouble. Doing there to steal this one down. Gets himself onto the bomb, but they are confused at this point. Neither player knows exactly what is
What?
going
They're
on.
both going for the knife. My goodness. I mean, Isaac, he saw the AK just vanish from the floor. He must have known Robin was there, but unfortunately for him, oh, actually, there's no time, no kit, so...
I still don't know what I just watched.
Yeah, to be fair,
I'm
I
genuinely
don't
not
know.
quite sure. Is that Counter-Strike? Is that CSGO?
I think it's a bit of banter, to be fair.
Yeah, that's not... That's... I think banter is, where we're going to leave that one, because I don't think there really is too much.
Obviously,
can
this isn't like
draw out of it.
intentional BM from FM side. They're just having a bit of fun, you know.
I got to give him credit. His movement was
Yeah.
pretty solid. Like, you got
Fair
to
play to them. The KZ maps are definitely paying off
Yeah.
for Robin.
get the feet up, just relax, let it happen.
Yes, exactly. So 1 minute 45 on the clock, and we are seeing a 14-4 lead for FM Esports. 14-6, sorry, lead for FM Esports. Only 8 rounds separating these two teams. 5 rifles on the GTN side, and they're expected to be playing versus the pistols here. I'm actually surprised FM didn't go for another force buy.
Yeah, certainly surprising, but perhaps they're realizing now that, just take a step back for a second, take this eco, embrace it, let it happen, and then go into it with a much more successive and solid overall setup, as it is just going to be, at least in this one, what we should have been seeing quite a while ago. Effectively, us watching a team set up nice and comfortably against these pistols, a solid anti-eco, and one that is, aside from one loss, kept relatively solid.
So, will Trouble bring out the AWP? Not really too sure on his money. He did buy the AKs. He was, expecting to play versus rifles, but we will see no AWP on the board, so we could see some early aggression coming out from the CT side, obviously. With those rifles, could walk, push, B, get some information, gather it that way, or maybe see heavy presence towards mid. And actually, we're going to be seeing the retake coming towards the A site. No Molotovs, though, to flush out those T players, and that could be crucial later into the round.
He spots out 3 players, finds the first, now going for the second. The continuous spray will net him. Both of those frags not quite able to find the third in towards mid, but nonetheless a solid start. And the rest of the team right now, all they have to do is set themselves up nice and comfortably, sit in those corners, and this should be pretty simple for FM. For GTN, it's all about them trying to make a play right now, so they should be playing into the hands of FM, realistically speaking. But then you have to throw in the curveball, which is FM. They're feeling confident, and that's where mistakes can actually begin to happen. 14-7.
Confidence is key, but if you drop the bomb in mid-main like that, that's the problem now. 5 versus 2. They know where the bomb is. 1 minute on the clock now. Yes, the T's are gathered, but this is the... Oh, actually gets tagged by the Molotov a little bit.
It gives away the sound cue as well,
Yep.
most importantly. Pretty much sets it up. Nonetheless, Pulse will pay the price, and Stakey, another headshot on towards Robin. Stanley gets to try and respond. Well, managed to do just that. And it did feel like GTN, they started to make something happen. They found themselves 3 in a row.
So, you mentioned confidence, so one thing that goes hand in hand with confidence is comfort. You see FM, they're not really under any pressure here, just, I don't want to say having a bit of a laugh, but definitely not playing as serious as they could be, and I mean, maybe that works for them, playing with comfort and playing confident. They're playing for the Angels, and it's definitely working in their favor, as they are now 15-7 up.
Unfortunately, it looks like we have lost ourselves a man of the GTN side, and, well, we are going to wait to see if that call will come on in to reset us back from what is effectively ground zero. But for now, we're just going to take it how it is. But this, well, it's the perfect point for FM. Just one more to close it out. Of course, that's a given. But for GTN, yes, they found 3 in a row. They were trying to almost break the side of FM's economy, which they can do to close out this round. But in the same regard, that's going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, especially when you are 1 man down. It's been so hard for them to claw this one back, but the fact that they haven't even called the pause brings to my mind that I don't really care about this game. Not this game, this round. And obviously, evidently, this best of 1 here.
At least find one through a smoke to
he's rejoined.
after the tally in trouble. He's going to hop on back through, but that doesn't really change too much.
No, it does not. And now Stanley pushing to A main. Sees no one. 40 seconds left on the clock, so not really anticipating too much towards A. He can push this, try and get the flank on, but here comes the B attack.
A lot of pressure going to begin to doesn't quite want to overface it. Robin coming in from behind. Well, he's just going to be the aiding factor. One that contributes up to a complete and utter bloodbath. There you have it. 16-7 is going to be the scoreline. We have ourselves just some more victors.
One thing to touch on, though, is you saw what happened when Trouble DC'd. GTN, they didn't opt to try and pause it or anything like that. Instead, they're like, you know what, lads? FM, you can have this one. And I think that plays into their mind of, I wouldn't say they gave up, but they had the fire going on. They had, like, it was quite close. 3-4. Early on, they were fighting back. Problem was, though, as the game progressed and the game went further and further on, the lead kept going in FM's favor. And GTN, unfortunately for them, they will lose 0-2 tonight.
Let's talk academics right now, because that's where I look at this for GTN, and I can almost, see why they've gone for this aspect of let's just take a step back, let's just let it happen, give it to them. They worked hard for it. They are outclassing in this regard. So this is why I draw back to academics, right? For GTN, they're a lineup that I said many times in that matchup they have potential, and I think the best thing they can do right now is go back to the drawing board with their strategies. I'd actually prefer it right now if they just took out their strat book, ripped the pages out, and started afresh, where they went to study off of what they actually seem out there. Because what they were doing, it felt at times very disconjointed. So it either comes down to rehearsal.
I wouldn't even say practice rehearsal, but think on the T side of GTN. Did you see any strats on Mirage?
Not really. There was
there's one round where they threw
there was a couple of things that they tried to set up for stuff, but they could never even get to the point where they set up because they would always either make mistake or just get flat out violated.
That's the problem when the CT aggression works in the favor of FM. It definitely worked for them, and it was paying dividends for them. But GTN, they definitely have a lot to work off now. They can watch it from FM's point of view and see where they fall, where they fell apart, especially on their T side, Mirage, where it didn't really go too well for them. And on Cash, it wasn't their map pick. I don't think it was their map pick, but Mirage. If GTN can get Mirage practice rehearsed, they can put out some, one-game upsets, and I think that's really all they're looking for here.
I think Trouble as well as a player I do want to highlight because he's been hugely influential in terms of finding these picks. But you stressed this last week as well, and I think again it deserved to be stressed this week. Someone needs to really kind of light the fire underneath him, get him going, get him heated, because the minute he actually begins to feel that heat actually starts to churn through, he steps up in a huge manner, really starts delivering some very excitable shots. So that's really what I want to stress towards as well from this lineup. Get him going as a player.
It's confidence though, isn't it?
He can be their star player per se.
He is the star player now. You see what happens with GTN. The only way they win rounds on their T side is usually based off GTN's op. I mean, thinking 16-3 on Cash, 15-2, but one of those rounds was an ace from Trouble with no armor.
We were running over ourselves going 1v5s, 1v4s. Just the fact that we're even having that discussion on which round it was, that says it all.
Yes, but the problem is, Trouble is the star player for GTN, but you could say FM on their side, they've got 5 star players. And
well, from FM's point of view right now, I look at this and go, if we wanted to talk, realism, what we expected to see tonight, we would have gone into this matchup knowing full well that GTN had very slim chances.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was a given, and it's the very much more brutal and honest way to look at things, but that's a given, right? So the way, I'm always going to look at these sort of matchups is, for GTN, they qualified in a scenario where they didn't even expect to qualify. They just played and they just kept playing. And their hearts led them to this point where they actually get to play in the league. So you have to really take that with a pinch of salt now and translate that into the fact that for them, a lot of these players, this is just learning experience.
Yep.
It's all about, we talk about experience so much in players. We talk about them going to LAN, getting themselves, that first LAN under their belt, getting that second. If we can actually see this, really be an aiding factor, you have to remember the UK Masters is a league based around the best teams in the UK competing for the title of being the Masters.
But it's all online, and I haven't really seen GTN play too much on LAN.
Well, that's what we want to see, right?
Yeah, so I will be asking, actually that's a good question, I will ask those players if they will be going to I-59 and see if they will be competing there.
I hope they are, honestly.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The problem is that they are looking for an org currently, and they do want some backing. So hopefully they can get that, find that, see them at LAN, and see, maybe if they play more as a team. Because, I mean, yes, online it's more about individual play. Your aim's better, you feel more comfortable when you're at home. When you're on LAN, the team play does come out more into play. Can we see them play better on LAN? That's the question. So hopefully things go well for them. We can see them at a LAN, but unfortunately that will be all 4 of the games tonight. And apologies for the pause earlier, but fortunately for us, the rest of the games were quite swift. So we are finishing quite, I wouldn't say early, but on time. So
it's been fun. That's something we can say. We have
good games. Even though it was blowouts, good games.
Yeah, blowouts at times, but they happen. It's all about picking up the pieces and beginning to go from where they got off. But either way, guys, it has, as Alex was saying, been a wonderful night. Make sure that, of course, Alex Snods.
At Snods CSGO, cheers for the follow.
Oh, a bit of a cheeky sellout. Hey, if we're going to go with the sellout train, make sure you go and thank all of our wonderful sponsors. You can see them to the left and to the right, going full flight attendant, right? Make sure you go, give them a cheeky shout out, of course. And at UK Masters on Twitter, if you want to get involved, check out the standings and all things UK Masters. Because remember, these are the best teams in the UK trying to really step up to the plate and put on a show for you. But in the meantime, that's going to be all for this week. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.